I'm Justin Horo, joined by the Triple OG, Willie Mason, and the bro, Lukey Stowe. And we had a great weekend on the weekend, didn't we,
Happy
boys? Shout out to Four Pine, shout out to the Hello Sports lads, and
fun,
our great mate, Daly Cherry Evans, too.
Yeah, with the tuxedo from Doom.
He was getting hammered in the comments.
Yeah, he said because he got a tuxedo on. It's pretty dressed up. Was it a black tie then, or was it just something up there?
One of my...
Was it Roosters?
He was the Australian Turf Club.
RTC?
He was with the ATC.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was doing some stuff.
RTS.
And he popped down to see us after he'd finished his commitments. We had a good little afternoon together.
I dragged him straight into a photo too because I was getting pumped and I went, DCE's just there. And they just went fucking mental. I said, get in here, son. Arm around. But he was in good spirits. It was good. Good seeing DCE.
My favourite comment on the post that the Hello Sports put up. Anyway, my point was, not my point. My favourite comment on the post where the Hello Sports boys posted a picture of me, Ches, Jake Simpkins, good fella too as well. Respect to Ches, still shopping at Taro Cash.
So I asked Bess.
Yeah.
I put it. I go, what's this? I go, is that his? It looks like
Taro
a wedding
Cash
suit.
used to sponsor the Dogs in 02.
Yeah.
That's how long. It's
And
how
no
far
strays
away.
to Taro Cash.
Hey, Taro Cash, we love you. You've come a long way since 02.
Yeah, but it was MJ Bale. I believe he's with
It
MJ
was,
Bale.
yeah. But it was the suede shoes that sort of threw everyone off.
Yeah.
Suede shoes with a tuxedo.
Look at the photo
Well,
again.
fucking, you deserve it, DC.
But
You
Bess
can't
said
rock that
it's
shit.
It's actually his wedding suit.
Someone else wrote in the comments, taking a picture with the boys and then cleaning the tables later on. something like that. Like he looked like the butler or something.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Shout out to Sebo as well. Absolutely fucking got the boys out of trouble. So, Mace, you wouldn't have been aware of this as well.
The last race?
They put together a kitty with their community. And there's like a number of people and they put some cash in and they have big bets throughout the day. Yeah. Sebo won an $80,000 trifecta in the last race.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How good's that? Well done.
It was good day all around and plenty of fun to be had.
Yeah, it's fun.
Want to shout out to the Levels community. This one's a good one from Housey. Housey's been writing this for a couple of weeks because times are tough at the moment. But just a shout out to anyone doing it tough out there at the moment and soldiering on. Cost of living, fuel, or whatever may go on behind closed doors, you're doing great. A problem shared is a problem halved. Gentlemen, Levels is a fucking problem. Love it, lads. Go Souths with a double F.
Yeah, lovely. That's good.
Good
Thanks,
message.
Yeah,
Good message to start for our community. And Housey, I've seen this for the last couple of weeks, mate, and I love the positive energy. Speaking of positive energy, let's keep it going with Bizza. Is he the most beloved player of all time? Is my, I guess, heading for this message that we got from Nalik. Check this one out, boys. This I think this really sums up who Bizza is.
Yeah.
Hey, lads, this one only come up after the Panthers game. There will be a lot of negative stories in the press this week about the Dragons, Six Agains, or whatever else happens from here. But I think Brian Toto definitely deserves a shout out. A fan on the NRL subreddit left this comment after the Panthers versus Storm game. All right, just 1 second. I'm just going to move that there. Yeah. And the comment went as like this. I don't know if this is the right place to post this. My brother died in a horrible car accident on Monday. My family reached out to Brian, who was his favourite player. Brian wrote my brother's name on his wrist and scored in honour of my brother tonight. Beyond football, that is so special to my family. He messaged us back after the game, giving his condolences. He is a special man who needs to be cherished. And then the message from Nalik is, shout out to Bizza, a great player in person, and the media needs to speak out more about these stories. Also, another shout out to Phoenix Crossland. He's another legend who went from last week's game with a busted nose and spent the day after the Doggies game visiting the Newcastle Kids Hospital with a couple other Knights players as well. Trying to bring some joy to the kids. Before I get to you, Mace, I just want to say, we would love to be the platform for stories like this. So if you do have stories like this, shout out to Bizza, one of the great humans, one of the most beloved players in the competition. And shout out to Phoenix and the crew at the Knights for going to the Children's Hospital, especially after we took the mickey out of him. His face was
His head was awful.
Disfigured after that game.
And I'll tell you one thing. Most rugby league, 98% of rugby league players do a lot of this stuff. It just doesn't get recognised, right? And they wouldn't put it out there in the social media because they're just good, honest people. Bizza does a lot of this stuff. A lot of clubs do a lot of players at clubs do a lot of this stuff. But shout out to Bizza. He does. There's always clubs that players that do stuff, and then there's players that
Next level.
next level guys like Bizzo, because he understands he's holding in the game and his influence on young kids. They love him. They absolutely love him. Phoenix Crossan, another legend. Like, there's always players within NRL groups, right, that do a lot, and then there's others that do a lot, and you don't know about it. And I love it. I love what Bizzo does.
The selfie videos that you do for fans is Cameo?
Yeah, no, Swish.
Swish, sorry, pardon me. There's couple of different
Swish,
options of it. You're with Swish,
Swish
right?
is Swish is just the athletes.
Yeah.
It's just
So
all
athletes,
mainly footy players. Yeah.
okay, so athletes Swish, and I've seen data around this maybe started last year or the end of the year before. Bizza is the most
Yep.
requested player, and so that says a lot about his standing in the game. But he also, I believe, he's really creative with the messages that he does and gets back to people. Just, mate, in terms of, and I've said this before, his stature in the game, what he provides on the field, but also what he provides off the field with cool stuff like this for fans who are going through a tough time, doing this for the fans and what it means to that family, but also how creative he is with content and how
it's not a boring video that you're going to get.
Like just him as a human, mate. All of that for me is a part of, like, he's one of the when we start talking about, I've seen Kempy did this recently and nominated him the best winger of all time. Mate, he's got a genuine argument for it, like stats and all that.
Yeah.
But,
thinking about Penrith, right? I love yous. And I was out of line, and I got the wrong mail, and accountability is my main thing, right?
What do you mean wrong mail?
Wrong mail. I got a good friend. He was out there, and he doesn't usually get it wrong. He was, Liam Martin's busted, Yoey's busted, Leota, Cleary wants out, just a fucking mess. And I'm like, don't lie. I said I'll back him out of the 8.
And so this is just before
just before we did that fucking prediction, like crazy predictions. Now I'm copping some fucking Roberta flack everywhere.
I will just step in there, Mace, and if we're going to be accountable, this wasn't crazy predictions. This is just your top 8.
Yeah, it was. I was just like, it was, yeah. And I was just thinking, oh, well, if all this is right, maybe they won't make the 8. Because Liam Martin's busted Yoey and Leota. Okay. Then Cleary wants out and Biz is getting a release of the Dogs. I'm like, we're sucking. That was the mail. I said, I'm going to fucking back him not to make the 8. Then he goes, yeah, sweet. You'll be right. Totally wrong. They're the best team. If they were going back, like you say, I respect your take. They're going to go back into preseason.
Yeah.
Revenge to a point to prove. Like, that's the narrative. It looks like, we've got one more year. It doesn't look like one more year. But another dynasty.
I didn't envision this.
They've got another 5 years.
I didn't envision this. Like, when for those who missed the preseason parts, and when Mace was talking about it, all right, he got given mail. They're a little bit busted. Long runs into the finals.
Yeah, I sort of made a good argument about it too, wasn't it? I sort of believed it myself.
Very reasonable take.
Hey,
it was
guess what? I didn't fully push back on it.
Yeah.
I just went slightly the other way, and we had a really good conversation about it. And I go, well, these are the reasons I like Penrith, but not even I could envision what they're doing right now.
No.
And like the reason that I thought that they were going to have a revenge year, and even going back to, remember when Cleary Ivan got asked last year in the presser after they'd lost, the dynasty over, and he sort of just looked at him and went, over. Like, now that's looking like one of the coldest pressers of all time.
And I just want to say sorry to all the Penrith fans. Because I'm wrong. I was copping shit from Warragamba Dam boys out of the races. Every Penrith guy that was at the Doncaster into me. What, are they not making the top 8? I was like, fucking hell. How long ago was that? It felt like a year ago. It was only like 8 weeks ago. Anyway, what they're doing out there, you just got to take your hat off. And if you got any fucking balls about you, you'd say sorry like I am.
Yeah,
and they're a totally different team. They're better than last year. They're one of the best teams I've seen for a while. And we'll get into breaking the game down a little bit more of how Penrith are really dominating this year.
Yep.
Because
you've been watching them closely.
They're on another level, mate.
I feel like because of this, you've been really invested in them.
Yeah, and I really like watching them play.
Yeah, same.
Because that's the benchmark. It's Penrith. I told last week, Penrith, and everyone's just here waiting to get there.
I don't really do this, and I nearly did, and I just didn't pull the trigger. But because of we've done stuff with Nath before, and we're in a fantasy group and we do dynasty chat, I felt an urge to text him after the game. I just wanted to almost as a fan.
I'm just going to send him a love heart.
You almost
a DM.
I almost want to send him a thing as a fan. I go, pull back. That's too heavy. Calm down. But I just was like so appreciative of the way they're playing, the levels he's at, and I was like, how do I make this short and not be over the top? Anyway, I ended up making a fool of myself the night after when I got on the piss and caught a few other players anyway. So I saved the second-hand, third-hand embarrassment for the next day, as Lukey knows, calling a couple of the boys. We won't disclose who they were. Lukey was there. Mace, I got a really nice text and reply from Walshy, who's doing well, by the way. But yeah, that sort of sums up how fucking pissed I was on the weekend. The last little bit, the reason I thought the Panthers were in for a revenge year was because of the last ride mentality. Now, for those who aren't aware, the players are contracted for this year and next year. All of them, the core. So I'm talking about the core outside of Dylan Edwards because he is signed to 2028. But you've got Cleary, Yo, Mitch Kenny, Moses Leota, Bizza, and Mitch Kenny.
I think that is probably right. Yeah, you can't keep more.
Fuck.
Can you? If you take unders, a little bit.
Why would they take unders right now, mate?
Well, do they have to to keep that core group together?
Potentially to upgrade Casey, Blaze.
Yeah, because Casey, in a year after now, you're like he's one of the best outside backs in the world.
Well, that's why
Milky Jenkins.
Again, credit to Milky. Fucking hell, whatever. He's gonna
just whatever. What if the Bears offer him 600-700 and they'll offer him 250. That's the position he's going to get in, Milky Jenkins. And same as Alamotti.
Yep.
Those boys, because they're not Penrith boys or anything like that, and they weren't part of that whole dynasty, those other guys will get a bit more of a... Well,
they've already shown over the last couple of years, Matty Cameron and Ivan have been really diligent with players that they've re-signed. Like, if you look at it, like they invested heavily in Nathan and Isaiah, clearly. Dylan would have took unders to stay, for sure. Dylan Edwards, I think he would have.
When did he sign? A couple of years ago?
Couple of years ago. I reckon Mitch Kenny would have taken unders to stay because I reckon Mitch Kenny would have got more to go elsewhere. Probably Liam Martin, I think, you'd probably put him in the same category. So big decisions coming up.
I think
they're going to get off good money, and I'm all for it.
It's all warranted, right? Just say if you're in a dynasty like this is a dynasty right now, you're like, how many? Like you've won 4, you've won 2, you've won 1 or something like that. You're like, I just want to stay here because of the fucking culture. And it is just crazy how good they are.
Depends how much.
It depends how much you love money.
Edwards
it depends where you are.
For me, it depends on career. Yeah, it depends on where you are, and if you think you've got another big contract left. Now, if you think you can still get one more big contract, then maybe you pull the trigger on an extra year or 2.
Yeah.
But if not, if you think this is your time to maximise, mate, you're right about Milky Jenkins.
He's going to be one of those guys that you're like,
but here's a tough one with Milky.
Is it system?
Milky was at Penrith, developed at Penrith, probably went from a minimum wage guy at Penrith and would have got nothing crazy, but a little bit more than that at Newcastle. He left a year to go on the contract and left all the money at Newcastle to get a release to go back to Ron Massey.
To go back to Ron Massey to try to be like he is now,
back in,
right? But that's how strong that culture is. He's like, I'm not learning nothing up here in the regime that was up there.
And
come back down.
I think that will be. I think Penrith will account for that when they might not be able to pay him the dollars that probably other teams will get, but he might get a club favourable deal off the back.
Thinking about his character now, if he's doing that, he's staying for less than unders.
Yeah.
Like if you go Milky, here's a 3-year deal, 400 or 350, and just say the Bears inaugural team, PNG inaugural team are offering you 600. He's staying, I reckon. I honestly think he does. He stays if they win a premiership this year, and in the next couple of years they jag a couple. He's not worried about Liam Martins and Yowies because they'll be 29.
Mate, that was Melbourne that he played on the weekend. So let's just quickly. Sorry, have you got something?
No, I was just saying 2023. Dylan Edwards re-signed for 4 years.
There you go. All right, Dylan Edwards 2023.
Peak.
So I was discussing this with the one and only Jimmy Smith yesterday on SEN. That was a tough carry too, by the way. Jimmy carried me for 2.5 hours into the game. Well. I got there and we ended up calling the Waz Sharks game, but I was struggling. Anyway, so Jimmy was looking at top try scorers in the competition. AJ got 30.
Was this ever?
In a season. I think
30.
Yeah, have a look at it. I think it was 2020,
16?
maybe
17?
2021.
No, it was
would have been the year. It would have been potentially.
When they got to the GF? 22.
It would have been one of those years for sure. So Milky's on 12 now, Mace. Is Lukey.
Oh, he could potentially score 60.
Like he's
If he averages what he's doing
so
now.
he's on 5 games.
12
times
tries.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at this rate,
No way. But like,
anyway, my point is, Jimmy goes, well, Dave Brown, this is pre-NRL era. Dave Brown got 38 back in
fucking 1962.
1950s or something, 1960s. And he goes, he's not going to get that. And I went, why not? Seriously.
Yeah, why not?
Look at the schedule that they've had. And I'm not even saying this tongue in cheek. Milky Jenkins has scored 12, and those teams, 3 out of those teams are genuine still premiership contenders.
Yeah.
Melbourne Storm, Cronulla Sharks, Brisbane Broncos, throw in the Eels there, and the Roosters.
Doubles.
Mate, they haven't played fucking duds. They've played the hardest part of their schedule. This will probably be the hardest.
No, it is.
Like at the start of the year, you would have looked at that schedule and gone, the Panthers probably have the hardest schedule to start a season. The fashion in which they're beating teams and the way that Milky's playing and that team is playing. And this Jimmy sort of had a counter argument with this, and this could be what really cost him. The origin period with either Casey McLean removed, but also like Milky's he's a legitimate, like he's down the pecking order. He's a legitimate chance. Now
In the conversation.
he's in the conversation.
Yeah, like if game 2 and 3, if we're down outside backs, like he can.
Yep.
I wouldn't be going, no way, don't put Milky Jenkins here. I'll be like, yeah, put him in. Who cares? He's a gun. He finishes off good. Like he's like one of those wingers that is just a genuine winger. He's tough. I don't care about him scoring tries. I watch his play twos and his fucking yardage carries.
Defense.
And his defense is outstanding. He's always finding his front.
Yep.
Granted, he's in a system which fucking just owns the middle.
Cool.
But who cares? It's the way he runs.
You could always knock.
You can knock his system out, but it's not that. Jenkins is a gun.
All right, let's get to this because this is supposed to be a little bit later on, but I'm going to go to it now and we'll return back to the start of the show because someone wrote this in. The real Johnny Peacock. Hey, lads, L1 from day 4 after a 3-week suspension for a hip drop. Seeing how well the Panthers are going, I was wondering how many guys will get picked for New South Wales this year. Here is my 19-man squad for the New South Wales team made entirely of current and ex-Panthers players under the new eligibility rules. Dylan Edwards at fullback. Milky Jenkins on the wing. Casey McLean and Critter in the centres. Brian Toto on the opposite wing. Luai and Cleary in the 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Spencer Lenu and Lindsay Smith up front. Uppy Coruscant at 9. Zach Hoskins and Liam Martin in the back row. Isaiah Yeo at lock. And then on the bench, you've got Egan or Kenny. Wow. So you've got 2 options for your versatile 9. Garner, Summerton, Salmon, Burton, and Isaiah Katoa. I will say that I think they've missed a couple of names.
Put Taylor May in there.
Well, I've got 2 names that he hasn't put in, Taylor May and Blaze Talangi as well, who Blaze he's on his way.
Yeah.
And I would have made changes I would have probably had, as good as Jenkins is going, I reckon there's a conversation between Taylor May, Jenkins, and Alamotti.
Yeah.
He's fighting for that extra wing position. I'd probably go Kenny start, Coruscant off the bench right now.
Yep.
And then I would have Sorensen. And another name that he forgot is Sorensen. I'd put him over Hoskins. Hoskins back to the bench, remove Subberton. But like, jokes aside, Mace, that Penrith New South Wales team
Against Queensland.
it would give Queensland a run for their money.
100%.
It would not be like
Proper run.
They could win a series. They could win a series.
They'll get a game. Easy. They'll go to a decider. That team would take you to a decider.
Well, what's always been the knock, right? Like we're talking about the chances of Milky right now,
Yeah.
and we've talked about Mitch Kenny and Dylan Edwards for a while there before he proved himself at that level. And everyone was always pushing back and go, "Oh, it's the Panthers system. That's the only reason they get in there." Well, okay, let's remove that excuse. Now they all know the Panthers system.
It's a good system.
So so rather than Nathan and Yowie and Dylan and even Uppy at times trying to bring the other players from different teams into their system, they don't have to change.
It's crazy. That's an awesome team. I'm not sitting here going it's going to beat Queensland, but I'm like that's fucking it's going toe to toe.
Pretty good.
It's not there's no backward step there.
It's pretty good. It'll be interesting to see how many get a crack this year. So the locks you'd think are Dylan Edwards, Brian Toto, Nath, Yowie, and Liam Martin.
Yeah.
and then
All the rest.
and then you've sort of got Casey, Milky.
We'll get done on the bench.
Yep. Yeah, not enough big bodies on the bench, but still, scary what they've done. Credit to the Panthers. Great apology there, mate. Great accountability because we're about that.
Yes, they are. It's a special
Penrith.
team. You got to give your flowers.
We're gonna get to
those
more
fucking teams like this. And I don't think people understand when you're witnessing greatness.
Yep.
Right. It's like you take it for granted. There's not going to be another team like this.
No,
not for
never again.
Not 50 years,
unless the Clearys go to PNG.
Yeah.
Then it could be the PNG Chiefs. Clearys. Right. I've written this down as some levelisms. Hey, fellas, this one's from S. Drake. He's an L1 from day 2. Good to see your progress on the litmus test. Bit of a stab.
Thank you.
Next up, scope with putting things into the ethos. It's supposed to be ether. Ethos is
I like ethos.
I like ethos better.
No.
Ethos is derived from the Greek word for character, think ethics.
Yeah.
Ether is an intangible, untraceable space. So putting something into the ether is like the fancy way of saying putting it out there.
Yeah.
We know what you mean anyway. Side note, if you combine the errors, you got the Littman's ethos sounding like some legitimate scientific theory. There's levels to this shit. That's a good message. I like that. Having a little bit of a crack at us for getting things wrong, but doing it in a funny way. I'm all for it. All right. This one is from L1 from day 1. So I reckon he changed his name just for me to read this out. And this is fan opinions off the back of Mace's strong opinions with some creators. And then I'll go through all this, Mace, and I'll let you have your take after it.
Right.
Hey, lads, Bulldogs fan here. Just wanted to push back a bit on the idea of last week's reactions from the fan base was purely off one game. That's not really accurate. The attack has been an issue for a long stretch now. It was a problem through most of last season, especially towards the back end, and the combinations between Galvin, Hayward and Burton, and even Tracy to a degree, have been getting questioned well before the Knights. Also, I think it's a bit of a slippery argument to say you need to have played the game to have a valid view on it. That's like saying professional punters who've never ridden a horse can't understand racing. Clearly not true. You can study, analyse and understand a game at a high level without having played it professionally. Bottom line, there are genuine structural issues in the attack and some holes in the forward pack too. Hopefully that improves when troops come back, but let's not pretend this is just a 1 week overreaction. Love you, Scope and Mace. So, a strong comment. I believe I take that as constructive criticism. I don't take that as there were some fans in there that were getting after you, Mace. And I will just say this on your behalf. I know how passionate you get sometimes, and you come in ready to let rip. And you know, sometimes when you're in a mood like that, you want to name and shame and rip into people.
Everyone's
you pulled back a touch. But what happens is sometimes when you're really passionate about being a Dogs player, is you weren't having a crack at all the fans.
No way. I love the fans.
This was
There's some of those fuckwit creators. That's all.
There's some creators or just fans who take it way too far. Yeah. And Lukey said this after, and shout out to Party Pig Rabbit. Lukey got it right. Like, you can critique players, coaches, whatever it may be. Yeah. And I will get to the horse bit in a little bit as well.
Yeah, we'll get that.
But unless you say it to the players or have the confidence to say it to the player's face, that would be when you start going nasty. Like, you know, the worst example of it are death threats, but there are even stuff about, you know, tagging people in comments and telling them they shouldn't be playing first grade. Like, you wouldn't say that to someone's face. Now, can you critique the way they're playing? And I don't know, like even tagging them like, what's another example? Like, yeah, for sure. We're not saying that you can't critique your team as fans.
A little bit. Like it's
but just going over the top.
It's personal, and I'll say, right, the fans like this guy. Yeah, you can say what you want. You're coming in on our website, and this is your opinion.
Yes.
Love it, right? It's the people with a platform. That's all. I love the Bulldogs fans. I know exactly what they're like, and if I was them, if I was the playing group now, this is what you expect. This is what I told last week. I said it's a fucking crazy club. When I first got there, they had no supporter base. The fans were fucking gone because of that little after COVID and all that sort of stuff. We're getting bottom four.
They were dormant.
They were hiding. Bulldogs fans were fucking hiding, right? Until they got a team to support.
Yes.
And they found a team to support in the last 18 months. And there's a level to fucking everything they expect from the Bulldogs players. And I know that because I've experienced it, right? And we were in a great era there where they fucking knew. That's the sort of the level of playing field that you got to put on when you put that jersey on. It's the 80s, the fucking 90s, the 2000s, all that. That's the sort of, that's what they expect.
Yeah.
Every single supporter. And I'm like, I know the fans are going to be thinking this. Don't think I'm going to be like, oh my God, I'm so shocked that they're going to fucking hammer the club. This is what I expect. We got booed off and spat at and shit like that. They don't care.
There was just some that took it way too far.
There's some that took it way too far.
Yes.
Constructive criticism like this, all for it. Fans that get on the fucking some creators that have got platform, pretty like constructive.
Yep.
It's the guys that are nasty little fuckwits that just say some shit about death threats and this and that and have a decent platform enough to spread that narrative around, which is just toxic, which I don't fucking like.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a select few. We not one point. I don't think Mace, or we're not. Maybe we just didn't word it correctly.
No, and I get really passionate, and people get fucking. They cop strays and shit like. And I'm sorry if you do take that personal, right? Yeah. But I do get in a little bit of a mood like that where I just fucking everything's. And these guys hold me accountable and go, "Hey, relax." And Lukey probably edits most of it out.
Yeah.
But and I'm just like, "Fuck it, I don't care," because but I got to rail it in. Is it rail it in? Rain it in a bit. Rain it in a bit, which I have. Which I've got to fucking Olivia Dean myself, and just sort of chill out a bit. Like right now, I get to go through what I said, and I talk to you guys. I'm like, okay, well, it's not about all the fans because I love all the fans.
Yeah.
It's just probably about 2 or 3 people.
So can I stick up for a couple other fan bases?
Yeah, fuck, I love all the fans. They know that.
Because we were driving in and I said, mate, this has been a problem before. When you get passionate and you get excited or if you're critical of the Bulldogs, sometimes through your passion for the club, you can throw other fan bases under the bus, right? So the Titans, the Tigers, and the Raiders copped it.
I'm sorry, Titans. I'm sorry, Gordy. I'm sorry, Matty Johns. I'm sorry, everyone on the Gold Coast. I love you.
Because
Tigers, I love
because of your love for the Bulldogs and your love for that fan base, the Titans, Tigers, and Raiders fan bases cop strays.
Yeah.
So, again, I go back to it, and we've used this example, and I told Mace about this before. Like we've had sponsors before sometimes, and in order for Mace to speak up a sponsor, he hammers another brand or a sponsor
without even knowing,
without like unintentionally doing it. But that's just the passion that you have for when you get behind something. So,
and I love that club, and I feel for the players, and because I have been a player at that club, and so have you. You understand when it's personal. I've played there from 17 to 28.
Yeah,
like that's where I made my bones in the game. So for fans to come at the club like it is now after 4 games, I'm like, come on, just fucking ease up. I know we're not playing our best footy. I fucking clearly can see that. Compare it to last 18 months, what we've been putting out there. But if you're a true fan, you're not saying all this nasty shit. You're saying what this guy's saying here. And a lot of you, like 95% are saying some decent shit. It's just that. And that's what gets all the likes, the negativity, extra 5%.
Can I add one thing?
Go, Lukey. Sorry, man.
Don't know Darcy McDonald for a bar or so. And I think when she did the potty with hoops the other day, I think she probably would have chosen her words better in hindsight, calling people wannabe creators.
Oh, yeah.
In saying that, her point was 100% correct. If you're like us, we have to moderate the comments because there's defamation legal consequences of those things. So if you're in comments section calling players this, that, and the other, they have a responsibility to shut those comments off. And I guarantee she would have loved to take her words back and say it differently because she was just under as much stress and frustration.
Because I know Darcy. Darcy's a legend. She's been around the club for a while.
So what does Darcy?
She's media. She's the media.
Head of media at Dogs. Oh,
she's been at Fox Sports. She's been everywhere.
So she's carving her own little way into the media game. She's done well, and she probably would have worded differently because when you're in that position, you call wannabe creators. They think they're on equal playing field with you. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like, who the fuck are you? They would have looked at them like that, and she would have copped it in the comment section.
But she got hammered. It was just an accidental throwaway statement.
Lukey, you're a good point about like how it can. When, we've had to do it before, like we've had really strong takes about different things in the game, and sometimes there have been people getting nasty, and sometimes Mace gets in the comments and replies to people when he's feeling himself, and it goes back and forth, right? And it can, and they can. I know when I read them, I know there's tongue in cheek for you on a lot of.
I'm always taking the piss, and I do not take things personal.
And there was even some guys at the races who come up and said,
"You call my mate a fuckwit?"
Yeah.
I said, "Well, he probably has been one."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, he is. He is a fuckwit."
But there's definitely enough grey area there to remove stuff when it's, if people start getting really personal and you might not be arguing with someone who is completely.
Yeah, you know what I'm like with fans too. Like I love fans. I love them all. Like, and I get along good with everyone when it's face to face. Like, don't come at me on your Instagram. Yeah. Like, because I might be in a mood and I got nothing. I got a lot of fucking time on my hands. Yeah. And you'll get it.
To that point, though, I think
that's why I'm not on Instagram.
Keep the same energy criticize your own fan base.
Yep.
For those comments with that same energy that you're critiquing the team with, because that shouldn't be on. Yeah. You shouldn't be telling this, that, and the other, death threats, that's the other.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's my take on it.
All right, I got some constructive criticism from L1 for day one. A couple of things I want to push back on. The comment around it's a slippery argument around needing to play the game to have a valid view on it. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But then when you said it's like playing professional punters who have not ridden a horse can't understand racing, clearly not true. I disagree with that as well. Now, I'm a punter, and I know there are analytics and data that can support professional punters, and there are professional punters that do really well. But I use this take all the time. With regards to me and Mace, I have strong opinions being a former player, but I was nowhere near the level of Mace, and I didn't play representative footy, so I don't know what that's like. So I never pretend to know what it's like for rep players. I mean, I can have a take on it and I can have an opinion, but I can't speak with the validity that Mace can speak with after playing a full season of NRL, going deep into finals runs, going on tours for 6 weeks. What's that like to back up without having a full preseason? So there are parts of my takes and opinions where I go, I understand that I don't have that on my career. I don't have that on my resume. Well, I can't speak strongly of that. So you often see me, when Mace is talking about even his Penrith take and how they went on deep runs, and that's why that was a part of the decision to take them, the Panthers, out of the 8, because he's lived that, right? So that's, and I didn't call him crazy for having that take. And similar to you guys, with being fans and maybe even playing local league or watching the game, every game, and understanding what that's like. As much as you watch the game and you see the data and analytics, like, you haven't made a fucking tackle. Like, you haven't lived it that way. So understanding that there is a percentage that you just can't relate to or shouldn't have strong opinions on, pardon me. And going back to the racing thing, like, again, I'll go back to it, and I've followed professional punters who have never ridden a horse in their life, and I follow them because I feel like they're good tipsters and they've got strong takes on the races. But they don't know what it's like to be Glenn Boss in what the energy is like before your potential third Melbourne Cup, or what it's like when you've got a horse and you know you're traveling at the 200 metre mark and you're going to win no matter what. Like, there are parts of what jockeys do, and they might not be the greatest tipsters of all time, but I can never say or feel what a jockey's feeling when he maybe before a race and the horse is just fucking not there today, and it's $1.60 pop, Mace, and it gets dusted. You can't say, as a guy who's done analytics on that and provide information, what that horse was feeling before it went out and jumped that race, because you haven't fucking lived it. So not an attack on you, but I'm just saying there are parts, if you haven't lived it, where you just can't have a certain take on a topic.
Well said. I don't really want to go into the people have never played the game argument, because I'll fucking destroy you. But it'll be mean. But I was sitting next to Glenn Boss a couple of weeks ago at the Golden Slipper and was talking about, and for anyone who knows me knows I don't know fuck all about the nuances of racing. And I'm interested in talking to jockeys about the mindset, about little nuances that I don't know. And I'm like, Bossy, do you know if you're winning? And this goes back to analytics and shit like that. If you can study the form guide and be a professional punter, fucking good luck. You don't know what's going through Bossy's head. He doesn't know what's going through the guy who's about 20 metres ahead. Him knowing that he's fully going to win by fucking that much. I said, do you know that like 200 metres out? He goes, yeah. He goes, because of how he's been training. He knows the jockey. He knows the horse. He knows all these little things that I didn't fucking calculate into my head, because I just look at numbers and punt. Yeah. All right. But he's like, I said, so just say if you're leading the race, right, and you've got 60 metres to go, and you know someone's coming, you're going to lose. He goes, yeah. because I've given it everything, right, at the wrong time, and this guy's given it at the proper time, and he might beat me by that much. I said, no fucking way. He goes, I know if I'm going to win by a fucking millimetre. So there you go. Analytics is not everything, mate.
Not everything.
A little bit. It's not a little bit, but it ain't everything. You got to be able to know the horses, know the plays. I don't know what goes through Cleary's head. Biz's head, all these great players, Andrew Johns, JT, when they're looking at the line, you don't know what he's looking at. Q's shoulders turned in, wingers dropped back.
Mace, here's another part.
Little things like that, mate.
Here's another main part that people have been talking about, and I think you'll agree with this as well. We've lived it. We've been out in the field. We know what fatigue feels like when you're out in the field. Yeah. Mace, we don't know what the 6 again feels like.
No, mate, I don't.
Like, I've got an idea of what it feels like. I can imagine what
it feels like. It's just origin for a whole fucking NRL game.
Yeah. And a whole season.
Like, because back then Origin was so quick, and it was around about 3 and a bit seconds would play the ball. That's average now for an NRL game.
Gus had a statistic. I'll get you to ask him because Gus has his stat on Origin speed. They 100% know what the current comp is. Yep. This was about 4 years ago he came out with that stat, how it was something
it was
like...
20 years ago. The stats were like... When Gus was our coach, he was saying it's around about 3 to 4 seconds play the ball, about 6 to 7 in NRL. Yeah. That's what you're averaging now.
Was that the difference 20 years ago?
Yeah, wow. 20 years ago. I'm talking about fucking about this time. Yeah. So Gus was 2003, 4, 5 coach, and that's what he was saying.
ChatGPT now.
Don't worry about
not ChatGPT. Brush that.
But yeah, it's crazy to feel like what they're going through now. I can't even level it.
All right, just finishing off. L1 from day one. Love the comment.
Appreciate it.
There were some good bits in it. There's some stuff that I pushed back on. And I will say we are off because our community helps us build out and also even identify things that we haven't seen in the games. But I will preface this. You can have strong opinions, but then there are also some stuff where you just don't know if you haven't lived it. And that's just the nature of what we're doing as podcasting, different areas, whether, your example was racing. And so that's where I would push back on that. All right, let's get to this one. This one is preview versus review, and it's the average footy fan. Love the show. Just wondering why you guys spend a significantly greater amount of time on the match reviews, but not as much on previews. Personally, I prefer using the analysis in previews instead of relying on Nathan hindsight.
Yeah,
so,
good take.
Yeah. I guess maybe once I've seen that comment, I feel like we've dropped the ball a little bit in the last couple of weeks. We get excited about it at the start of the year. There are all these matchups, but rather than just having our picks for the weekend and who's going to win.
And we answer a lot of YouTube questions as well.
Yeah, we do, right? Yeah. And I love that because that's how we build our community.
Yeah.
But I will just want to say, I enjoy predicting, especially when I predict our multi that hit yesterday as well. I think we should shout out to Ethan Strain, Simi Sasangi, and Flex Sharp. Just always in the game.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
But I'm also sort of trying to not only predict try scorers, but also
why the team will win. Yeah, all right. We'll get better at
that. Mace, our friends at Mongrel are back, and they're back for year 3.
Proudly Australian made and owned since 1930, Mongrel Boots is a family-owned business backed by 5 generations of experience, specialising in boots made for the Aussie worker.
Now, Mongrel Boots have a new collection that updates the classic elastic-sided boot. These are designed for work where safety ratings aren't necessary, or if you're just after something a little bit more stylish, the K9 range offers several designs with clean cuts, premium leather, and comfortable rubber soles, bringing back the old school elastic cider. Now you can have a pair of mongrels for any occasion in a bunch of colours. As we said a couple of weeks ago, Mace, we want to rely on our community to tell us about Mongrel Boots, and the Crazy Kid had this to write.
Crazy Kids. Mongrel Boots are great quality and super comfy. I went through a phase of buying cheap boots and went through 3 pairs in 18 months. The Mongrel Boots I have are far superior and worth the money. By far the best boots I've owned and far, far better than any brands in the same price range. Up the bunnies.
Up the bunnies. He even made the mistake that we talked about at the start of the show. He wanted to throw another brand under the
Oh, did he? Oh,
I took that out.
Learn from my mistakes.
I removed that, Mace, on behalf of the Crazy Kids. But the Crazy Kids, congratulations. You have just won a new pair of boots for this month. So Lukey will hit you up in the DMs.
Screenshot your YouTube comment from your YouTube account so I can see you're logged on. Email partner@levelsnetwork.com.au.
Perfect. There we go. But that is a great message about, and I always say this, Mace and Lukey, buy cheap, buy twice, right? Mongrel Boots, you pay for the quality, and you get quality, and that's what's happened to the crazy kids with a new pair of boots coming your way. If you're looking where to get a pair of Mungles, head to mongrelboots.com.au to find your favourite boot and local retailer. Mongrel Boots, Australian born and bred since 1930. All right, mate, let's get to this question around the Benji Butty team. So this one comes from Aleka Fury. Hey, lads, love the potty. I just saw that Fiji Butty were looking for a new coach heading into the World Cup. Who do you think should take over? Personally, I think Benji would be a perfect choice because he is already coaching Dream Buller, Sania Taruva, Abi Carousel, and also the Faunu brothers.
They got a bit of Fijian.
They...
Tongan.
They declared for Fiji last year. Now, there was some strange...
Hard to get in that Tongan side.
There was some strange rule...
I think they declared too late or something.
Something like that, and they end up missing out on playing in the Pac Champs. But I believe the Faunu brothers have elected to play for Fiji as well.
Yeah. They're good. They're good kids, man.
On Buller, did you watch some of the clip? I haven't watched the full pod. I want to yet with Terrell May.
Yeah,
the Dream
Watch it. It's one of the most.
Yeah,
it was. It felt like a big recruitment sort of stay with us.
Taylor May's doing some good things, man.
Yeah.
Terrell. Fuck, sorry.
Taylor. They do it together.
May, I like him.
Yeah.
I like the way he talks, and he's sort of grown into his personality, and he's fucking owning it.
Yeah.
See how he owns it today.
I seen a couple.
He'll fucking smack your eels.
No chance.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I'll call him a wannabe creator.
Oh, you want to be created, Terrell?
What are you?
Why are you into Terrell for?
I'm Batman, so I love Batman.
Hey, let's get to the player of the month, and the players have voted. Nathan Cleary is their player of the month to start the season.
Yeah,
now, following a commanding start for the 2026 season, the Penrith Panthers halfback clinched the March player of the month ahead of fellow nominees Tanner Boyd and Jackson Ford for the Wars, both rewarded with nominations after really good starts for the New Zealand Warriors. Here are Nathan's stats to start the year: 4 games, 1 try, 6 try assists, 1 line break, 7 tackle breaks, 5 offloads, 1 forced dropout, an average of 99 run meters, an average of 529 kick meters, and they are the last remaining undefeated team in the competition, Mace. And he is a huge part.
He's playing with kids. No, I'm not say that. He's playing kitty. He is. It's men versus boys, mate. He's just a level above everyone else. Hopefully, he continues this and he will get the Dally M.
That was one of the
man of the match for New South Wales. Everything I'm predicting, putting it out into the ether.
Just being around all the reactions at the races, that was everyone's biggest sort of question. Sort of, do you think Penrith and Nathan and all this stuff?
That's all on Nathan.
Sustainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what everyone was sort of throwing.
As far as he goes, he's the guy.
He's in. Everyone else.
He's on another level.
He's
mate.
in full control.
Everyone else is wannabe NRL sides at the moment when you play the Panthers.
Yeah. It's as I said, it's Panthers, and then everyone just catch up. And I think it might take a minute.
We'll get to. I got some stats for the Panthers as well. Shout out to Random Stats Guy. I didn't rely on ChatGPT.
Random.
Look, I went straight to my mate.
Does Random get, or does he get him off the ChatGPT as well?
Rando's got a whole lot.
He's got good stats.
Yeah. Rando is that analytics guy that can give you the best possible data, and got a little bit of game too. Rando played New South Wales Cup.
Bears.
North Sydney's.
Yeah.
Who was the main guy with the stats when we were playing? What was his name? He's still
Dave Middleton.
Is he still the king of stats or what?
I seen David Middleton
He's
the other
got
day.
an Instagram handle.
I was up in the box and I ran into the Channel 9 crew and I went to go say I thought Brenton Speed, because he does some stuff with his SEN. I walked into the wrong box and then I realised the box was too good.
Way better box, leather chairs.
It was the Good Friday game.
Not ours.
And they were watching highlights of Good Friday. Big clash between South Sydney Rabbitohs and Bulldogs, and it was Speedy and David Middleton was in the background. And I go to Middle. I said, who was the? It was a really famous South player. Anyway, they're watching it, and it was almost in black and white. And Middleton could tell you the exact time of the game that it happened. Like, that's how good
he's a
freak.
Rain Man.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the Seagulls 52 defeating the Dolphins 18. Fins down.
Down. Are they down or what?
I reckon.
Was the Eagles just soaring?
Because of my strong Dolphins take, more people were asking me about the Dolphins than.
Before we get to teams, do you want to do Cleary RLPA?
We just done that.
Just did it.
RLPA Player of the Month.
Literally
Who the
just
fuck
did
have
that.
you been?
I thought it was
You
a fan
just,
question.
you just zone out for
Yeah. I was typing the notes for...
Get
Leave
fucked.
that in.
Get
Do not
fucked,
take that
Lukey.
out. Leave that in. What do you got?
You?
Because I was supposed to listen because I got to send it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just 3 minutes.
We were asking you to do
much
something with
PG.
ChatGPT and you must have just zoned out for a little bit. But keep that in. I love that shit. That's good stuff from you. All right, let's get to the Seagulls defeating the Dolphins, though. This one comes from Luke Geddes. Lads, I normally don't make a point of watching the post-match depressers from the coaches, but I was absolutely pumped for Foz in Manly after the win. Genuine bloke. Go the Knights. And I will just say, Lucas, you have got the depressors wrong. That is a press conference. Depressors are for the losing coaches only, and I thrive and love them.
Go
evermore.
watch Craig Bellamy.
Shout out to Ricky.
Oh, and Ricky.
Super angry.
Oh, fuck.
He's my OG.
Yeah.
He's my OG, Ricky. We'll get to that.
What is it? Finn's down, isn't it? Like, they played awful. I know the Eagles played outstanding, but like, fuck, you got to put something better than that.
We've got to start with the storyline, which is Manly, right? And as expected, I said this in the lead up to the game, Jake and Tom were awesome. They were always going to live for Foz.
Yeah.
He's beloved at that club. And those two guys bleed maroon and white, Jake and Tom, the whole family. Benny played
Benny's
awesome as well. But those guys are just the club. That club means so much to them.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have been looking at the negative side of this, right? Like, why didn't the players live for Siebes and all that sort of shit? And it's like, I can discuss that, and we'll get to that a little bit. But you don't. Again, this is a part where you can't, if you haven't lived this, if you haven't been in the locker room, if you haven't trained with a guy like Kieran Foran or Jake and Tom, there is just a level above of what guys have meant to a club, meant to a playing group.
Yep.
And those guys just love Foz. So they lifted for him and played their best games of the season. You can knock the side of it, like I keep going back to around, not having this level of play for Siebes. But they lifted for Foz. They were awesome.
Yeah.
And, there were so many good performances across the board.
They did exactly what we thought they were going to do. I'm not surprised at the Eagles winning. I'm surprised at 52.
Yes.
That was pretty bad for the Dolphins. But we were happy as hell. I think everybody was happy and was going for the Eagles. Unless you're a Dolphin supporter.
Unless you're Christian Wolf in these 90s.
Yeah, unless you're Siebes. Siebes is death riding it and everyone's playing for Foz. I look at it and just go, well... Like a couple of weeks ago when they were playing Newcastle, fucking Hamole Olakwatu had 4 touches in the first half.
Yeah, six.
He had 6 in 10 minutes.
Well,
and that's just wanting to get in and just rip in. For what for? For your personal pride, but for the collectively as a team, you're coming in there together. You're like, Fozzie's our man. He's fucking bled for this club. He's a club legend. Our senior players, Tom, Jakey, Cop and Strays from everyone. Let's fucking galvanise together and just get it done.
Yeah.
And they've got a team there. We've always said that.
Oh, there's plenty of talent.
Talent. All a strike. We talk about other teams, how much less strike power they got. That's a fully loaded Eagles team will take fucking most teams down.
Here's another detail as well that people have probably heard and when they criticise players, and I hate hearing this, and it's happening with the Dragons at the moment. And sometimes when people were sticking up for the coaches who are under pressure, they often talk about, well, they are not the ones out there making tackles and all that, or missing tackles and letting in tries and all that sort of stuff. But sometimes structure really matters, Mace. And as you can see from that game plan that Foz went with, because that's the style of player he was, he was very diligent with the way he played, the way he saw the game, and how direct he wanted to play as a half. And that's what they did as a forward pack. Now, people have been criticising Jakey's numbers to start the season. But Siebes clearly had a game plan and was evident in the Roosters game. Luke Keary again brought up another good point. He's killing it. He talked about around the Manly team wanting to win the soft way against Roosters. And what he meant by that was the shift on the second tackle looks all great and it's a great way to start the game, but it's almost an admission that you can't go toe-to-toe with the Roosters, right? Now, there are tactically and structurally, there are things that you see, and if you're able to execute a play like that, I'm not saying you completely put that away on the back burner. But early on in games, establishing yourself, getting into
First
an arm
10
wrestle.
minutes, you've got to get into that.
Like going back to Penrith. Penrith have joy at the back end of halves, but they earn the right to go sideways.
And that hasn't changed since day dot.
Now, when you're criticising, when you stuck up for Jakey and we stuck up for him about like what he means to that playing group and you know the style of play they're playing, that shift play out the back just
easy to defend,
mate. It was not suitable to the play of guys like Jakey, even Kobe Hetherington had heaps of touches early. Corey Riddell played one of his best games I've fucking ever seen. So there were great performances through the middle when you give them a job to do, which is probably simplify a little bit more. Therefore, getting into an arm wrestle, fatiguing the Dolphins players, which they did, and then they were able to have some joy on the edges. So then you can get to those. I guess maybe a part of why the reason Siebes wanted to get to his outside backs is because they had so much strike.
Because you had strike there, yes.
But they never earned it, Mace.
You can't. If I was playing in the middle and just say, folks, you come up and goes, yeah, we're going to have a shift on the second play in the first set. What? Imagine saying that to Ogre or me or Pricey and fucking Roy and everyone like, shut up. We've got to you solely have to win the battle in the middle, get that ascendancy, and then you can have a crack.
Yep.
Like in today's game, you can win the battle pretty early after, just say third, quick, play the ball, have a crack at him. Yeah, you can do that. But not in your first set and not in the first 5 or 6 sets, just going pass, like link, like so pedestrian what they were doing. You could just fucking read it. No one's digging into the line, getting it, someone run the block, Jakey's out the back, another block, and Jakey just has to pass it because you're trying to link up to your outside backs. That's all he was trying to do. So therefore he has to be slow and pedestrian like they all are. Kobe was passing. He's never passed a fucking ball more than 10 times a year up in Brisbane for the last 6 years. No doubt he can do it, but he's a fucking hitter.
Yep.
And he just lay a line for fucking Big Paseka. That's what you'd be doing right now. Jakey's the one who ball plays out the back to get to the connect like your Cam Murray. And that's what they did. Get it run off the ruck and then get to Homole, right? Early. Benny Trebojevic. And that's exactly how they played. You can't just go string out the back because defenses are too fucking good.
What else did you see from Homole? Because I'd written down, this is like, I was writing some notes as the game was unfolding. Like 30 minutes in, Homole was 10 for 133. He ended up getting 2 try assists. He went for 268, Mace.
Holy shit.
And that's a reflection. So he's an edge player that's benefiting from the
and a right edge.
Yeah, the right edge, and that's a reflection as well. Like, you know, hit 6 carries for 50 odd meters that he had a couple of weeks ago was just not acceptable for him. But also, like, that's because he's juiced and fatigued because they're doing too much defense. Yeah. Now, once you prove yourself and go through the middle, you get in an arm wrestle. You're running at fatigued edge players, and then that way, and because of that, that was a product of them fatiguing the middles. They weren't able to assist Cody Nikorima. And now when you leave Cody Nikorima one-on-one with the Homole Olakuatu, that is the product.
That's nearly the whole game now. If you have a look at how Penrith are playing, how good teams are, like Cronulla, even in the last couple of weeks, they've been really, they get the ascendancy in the middle with a couple of quick play the balls. If they get over the 30, they'll have 3 cracks at you, right? Like a long one. Like where Billy Burns scored on that right-hand side on the 3rd crack that they had against the Warriors.
Off Nico?
I don't know. They went left, they went left again or something, then they went back to the right. And it was just, you just couldn't stop it. You couldn't stop it if you're the Warriors because you're under fatigue, first of all. You're not doing this in the first or second set. This is like, I think maybe 30 minutes into the game, I think in the first half. And they had it on the 3rd one.
It was halfway through the second half. They had a scrum, had a shot on the left. Oh no, you might have been.
They were running that way.
Let me get the game up.
Anyway, so what I've been seeing against like the Penrith always win the middle, right? They always win the middle. Then they go wide, but they have 3 or 4 cracks at you.
Yeah.
Like decent where their players, their middles, you need fit middles. You need mobile middles and you need middles that can ball play. Look at Penrith. They got Yowie. They got Lindsay Smith. That's enough, right? Even Leota can offload a little late offload here and there.
Yep.
The Sharks have got it as well. They all run in 3s. They can destroy you in. I said about that last week about that shape.
I just will step in
shrink
just
shape.
quickly on the Sharks.
Yeah.
They didn't have it a couple of weeks ago. You know, it's been Dolph that's straightened them up.
What did we say?
Yeah.
Hazleton
Doing the shitty
love
work
you,
for 'em.
love
Yeah.
you, Hazleton.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, you can't have a big 6'6" guy who they will just get there and roll and make those fucking play the balls 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's what he was doing. The Dolph was coming off the fucking bench, giving him massive go forward. Remember we said that?
Yeah.
Then he started
Swapped
the
them
Dolph,
around.
swapped them around, looks totally different.
And
Now,
Hazleton looks better.
Fanua Blake's looking
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a gun, like
yeah.
he is, because
Yeah.
he's getting off the back of quick play the balls, right? And then if Fanua Blake's got that skill set, he's fucking throwing 20-meter dimes out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you got to nearly have 3 cracks at him and just split the middles, and you can't get that ascendancy because all the players are shitting themselves for that 6 to go. So when you get that 1 or 2 quick play the balls, you're on the back foot. You watch the middles are fucking just, if you haven't got a really good middle, you're all over the shop, right? And they'll go one crack at you the other way, and then they'll get you the other way, and you're done. And Billy Burns, if you didn't hit Billy Burns, you're going out the back, and it was 3-on-1.
Yeah.
Just strip you for points, and the good teams do that.
I love that take, and it's more so focused around the Sharks and Panthers, which we'll get to in a little bit. What's sustainable for the Seagulls though? Because when we're going to do the preview or review or whatever, teams sometimes look at the specific teams, and it's a great point. And seeing how stuff unfolded over the weekend with those games and
Becoming a trend now. You see, 4 or 5 games, I'm like, okay, the most skilled middles, the fittest middles, and the outside. It's obviously the talent of the team, but you can have a talented team to go out there, like St George a little bit. They're cop and show. They play individual. You do 1 out hit ups against fucking any team. 3 in. You're not moving the line or anything. So like good teams, Eagles played good football. They were moving with every single play as a play.
Did you see anything else stylistically that you think Manly will benefit from? Do you think the motivation of having a guy like Fozzie as your coach for a huge game coming up too? They're playing the Dragons, which is going to be pivotal for I think Flanagan's coaching career. I really do, because for 2 reasons. Manly have already shown and responded as a playing group and as a club after making a move on Siebes, whereas I think the Dragons will be feeling that right now. And if a team like Manly have made the shift to Foz and Manly beat them at Wollongong, which has historically been a tough place for Manly to go down and win, I think that could be the end of Flano, which we'll get to a little bit.
Like the Eagles played good because they played to their strengths.
Yep.
Like you got to give Paseka early ball. He's a giant, and he's so hard to tell. Kobe Hetherington lay the platform, right? Jakey on that third hit up for a string play out the back, and then get it to Hamole, Benny Trebojevic, then just ruin the middles for about 10 minutes, and then it'll open up.
Look what happens for and Brooksy and Fogarty have copped a lot of heat too for the start of the season. When they're on the front foot and you can kick over the advantage line like they did, it's not only going to lead to a try assist and a try like it did for Fogarty and Brooks, who would have. I'm really happy for them as well because they've been under the pump with the Joey Walsh situation and Ches moving on. So those 2 guys were able to have joy off the back of it as well.
Sustained pressure, right? Yeah. All it is, and Penrith. That's the difference between Penrith. They're doing this for 70 to 75 minutes a game, where the next level is probably doing it for 60, like Cronulla, Brisbane. They're probably the 2nd and 3rd best team.
Yeah, I think so.
Then I don't know who else is sort of doing that. Warriors can do it for 50.
Yeah.
When you're on the back foot, like the Sharks just wiped the floor and they were coming back a little bit. And Sharks just got into it. Good attacking halves.
Shout out to Fogarty too, because he had some strong words, right? Like people, he went into bat for Siebes because you got to remember he was signed by Siebes for a 3-year deal. And I was like, ooh, that was brave.
Yeah, first-year player,
a vet. But I love the way he responded.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even if I just say I disagree because I like Siebes the person, I've met him a couple of times, done some stuff with SEN. I felt like it was the right decision, the fashion that in which they lost. But I respect the hell out of Fogarty going into bat for someone who had got him to the club and understood all that and the pressure around Walsh.
And I think everybody sort of respected that as well. I was like, oh, yeah, well, he got recruited by Siebes, highly recruited. Like DCE's going. It was a big fucking deal for him coming there. Yes. You got rid of DCE, was going, and you're the guy. You're the guy coming into a team like Seagulls. Like people, like maybe the new fan look at the Eagles and go, oh, they're not premiership winners. That club that's the way I look at the Bulldogs. I look at the Eagles. They fucking win. They win most of the time. That's why the supporter base with the Eagles aren't as mental as ours, but they're up there. They're fucking up there. Just don't say as much. Just the Hello Sports boys.
No,
they ripped it off before it went too crazy for the Eagles, I think.
Did they?
Like as in coaching decisions, so the fans don't go too mental.
Yeah.
No, they were. If you watch it, it's again. This is going back to your point with before. We were talking about this before. Like if you're on, mate, you see the Bulldog stuff.
Yeah.
Like because you're a Bulldogs player, people send you the Bulldog stuff, right? That's a part of like why you see how passionate they are. Don't get me wrong. There's probably levels to fan bases, and Dogs would be right up there in the most hectic.
Yeah.
But I'm across most. I'm across the teams that I played for, and more so probably the Eels and Manly. And Eels and Manly can get fucking nasty as well. So it is across the board.
St George.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying Manly's nowhere near it because I've watched a lot of Manly stuff as well, but the Bulldogs ones are just nasty.
I thought a guy who really stepped up well, I want to see him get more game time as well, Clayton Falalo. Man, I've been saying this for a couple of years. He is fucking a really, like, there is a play there. He's a bit of an older prospect. He's around 25, 26. It took him a while to get a crack, but, man, every time Clayton Falalo, he gave, like, Selwyn, we'll get to the Dolphins now in a bit, like, the pressure that he put on Selwyn and they clearly had a game plan too because Selwyn had 4 errors last week against the Broncos and he had another 2 or 3 really crucial ones in this game. I love Selwyn, the player in the ceiling, but
he can't afford those. He's too good a player. He's too good a player.
Because the Dolphins' middles are getting into an arm wrestle, and it's their outside backs that are coming up with bonehead mistakes and unforced errors.
Deflating that would be for middles. Yeah. Just we're not knowing how the 6 to go rule is, but I'm just imagining it. And then they just do a kick, and then he comes like one of your outside backs. I'm not talking about Selwyn. Just any mistake from your back 5 coming out of yardage or anything like that with zero care for the ball. It's fucking near you're going to take someone's head off.
Especially when you've sat.
He's awful.
Especially when you've sat and watched video the week before, Mace, and Selwyn's come up with some errors. And even Hammer had a couple. There was one where later on where Kohler jumped early and it was a disruptor. But it was like they've got a lot to fix right now, the Dolphins. I'm still not completely given up. So many fans, go on a run. So many fans were coming up to me going, Fins down. I've become like
you're the Finn.
Unintentionally become the number one Finn supporter. Now, history says they can't win the grand final after getting beaten by 50. I never said they were going to win the grand final. I said they were going to get to the grand final and lose to the Broncos. Now, I need to change that as well. I feel like the Penrith Panthers might be thereabouts. But their kick catch at the moment is fucking disgraceful. It's not to NRL quality, and they're putting their middles under the pump, and therefore you're seeing some really fatigued middles, soft options defensively, and there needs to be some tweaks there at the Dolphins. The problem that I think, and I see this as well, and there are some coaches that are very similar in the same ilk, is Fitzy sticks by the Cronulla Sharks even when they're not going well, and then you see the benefits of that, right? They eventually, the playing group, get their way out of it. Wolfie has already shown over the last year or so that he is pretty loyal to the team, but I reckon they need to make some tweaks.
There's a few little themes going on, right? It's like when you were just saying mistakes from the back 5 or back 3, middles under fatigue, everything like that, and then it's compounding and compounding, and then all of a sudden your middles can't put enough pressure on a Nico Hines or Brooks going down a short side. The markers aren't moving as fast because you're fucking gassed, right? So this is the compound effect into getting blasted by 50 is you're not dominating the middle. You get your back 5 making mistakes coming out of yardage. You get pinned on your line for 10 minutes in tackling. Next minute, this team is just, and that's the whole teams that we go in losing here. They're not winning those little things. They're undisciplined. They're not winning the middle, and they're just compounding this, and then the other teams will blow you off the field. And if this happened, on the other hand, if the Eagles weren't doing this, the Dolphins would do that to them.
Yes, agreed.
You know, that's how even the comp is.
Yeah.
And as I said, Penrith and everyone else can beat everyone on their day, but you got to get Panthers on an off day.
Yeah. I think the team that's going to apply the most pressure is definitely Brisbane, but then they can't stay healthy as well. Which we'll get to
and they can't sustain the pressure as well.
Well, one of our favourites here, one of my favourites anyway, Kurt Donahue. He needs to be. There's 2 options for Kurt Donahue. Now I know he's just returned, and I watched him closely. I was seeing what his movements were like.
Does he have a sternum guard on? Or does he have a massive chest?
Nah, he always. I think he always wears a sternum guard. I think because he's a bit of a chest up tackler, and he was looking for contact as well. But by the time he'd come on there on the back foot, there's 2 things that's missing that's making them clunky in attack. It's Morgan Knowles is working his ass off.
Yeah.
But I think he's a front rower in the modern game, in this version of the game. Now, he was that for Woofy, so this is where it's getting tricky, and Woofy might have to make a hard decision. For those who aren't aware, Morgan Knowles played that style over there for St Helens, but he just doesn't have the silk, and it might come with time, but right now, the connection and the clean ball that Isaiah Katoa is not getting is affecting Isaiah Katoa. And
Donahue throws dimes.
Donahue always hits it on the mark. Now, he might be a little bit off to start the season as well. And he was a bit clunky because they're under fatigue. Yeah,
you need to start.
And the other one, and I'm thinking about it, and I love the human. And it's hard to, critique people like this because, he seems to be a popular player wherever he goes. But I was thinking about, can they win a comp with Cody Nikorima at 6? And I don't think they can, Mace.
I reckon they can if Katoa is the main dude.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about the games, and I've watched the Dolphins closely over the last couple of years. When the Dolphins are on the back of these big losses and you lose momentum, because that's going to happen, all right? When he gets spotted up, mate.
Yeah.
I know it was Ola Kawatu, but it's not the only time.
Yeah.
And they just roll through in and around Cody Nikorima. When he missed some time last year, they end up flirting around with Kurt Donahue there.
He's at left 3, isn't he?
Mate, he was bashing
Hard
people.
Position.
So, I still think there's a spot for Cody in the 19, but I do have my reservations of whether they can win a comp with
He could be
Cody.
outstanding off the bench, Cody. Tired team.
Yeah.
He comes off, speeds your ruck up at 9. I reckon he could do that.
Yeah.
He's got footy. He had a great season last year.
Yeah. Or, you're right, maybe playing that Benny Hunt sort of role, veteran coming off the bench, doing something like that. And I think another person they're really missing, but you can't rely on him, is Jeremy Marshall-King.
Yeah.
Well, when Jez is playing, man, Jez is
Genuine 9.
He's a genuine 9, the service from dummy half, but also he's always injured. He's just always injured. So he's another player.
That's for 5 years now.
Yeah. But Dolphins, I think there are a few tweaks. I think, like I said, Woofy will probably stick with it. They've got the bye this week. Guess who they've got after the bye?
Penrith?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
They seem to just come up everywhere, especially in this next game.
All right, let's get to the Rabbitohs versus Bulldogs, because that's who the Bulldogs have next week. So the Panthers will play the Bulldogs and Dolphins in the next few weeks. The Rabbitohs 32 defeated the Bulldogs 24. We've got a new levels favourites, boys. So went down on the pitch.
Yes.
I gave my player of the match to Tallis Duncan. As we were waiting to get the all clear from the box up top, he let me know that he is a fan of the podcast, listens to the levels, showed us some love.
Big fan of his.
And then, now even more, during the interview that I had with him, hit me with an iron sharpens iron.
Yeah,
and
boy.
then as we were walking away, it sort of took me a while to register a little bit too, because, you're trying to focus on the interview and I've got people talking to me, so you get a little bit distracted. And as we were walking away, I sort of went to go thank him. He gave me a little wink too. So I loved it.
Wayne would love him.
Hit me on the iron. Hit me with the iron sharpens iron on your Bulldogs, mate. Yeah. So and by the way, what I was talking about in that part of the interview was fuck, tell us, you started the season well. I thought he was excellent to finish the season last year.
Playing centre and back row.
Because so many people were concentrating on that left edge for South. Jack White and Campbell Graham, now that he's returned, Tallis Duncan, Jamie Humphries having some fun on the right
That's
edge.
what they expected, right? When everyone was getting on for feeder. And they put him around to the right side as well.
Yeah, that's when O'Sullivan come on.
O'Sullivan, So he can play. They had massive raps on him probably 3 years ago, saying he was coming through the system.
Yep.
And he's arrived. He's always gun defender. And I was like,
can hit.
Couple of years, I'm like, he's going to put on some decent size.
He's not crazy big.
No, but he's going to put on some really nice size around the hips and just legs and power where you need to be a good hitter. Because he's got that perfect height to hit.
Yes.
Right? He will fucking jam me. You know what I mean? His body's about 6 foot, I reckon.
Yeah, 6'1".
Yeah, 6'1". Fucking dip, bang. Perfect size for a back row, really fast, good hands. And apparently a fucking legendary human. So
I went up to Cheese. So by the way, Cheese is going to return next week too. So they're only going to get better. South, and I go, I go, I'm about to give Tallis the man of the match. What's he like? Is he right? He goes, he'll be nervous. I said, is he a good dude? Is he a good fella? And he goes, I love him.
He's like a little Chocky Watmow.
Yeah.
When Chocky hit the scene.
Yep.
Was a back rower centre, real fast, unassumingly strong.
Yeah.
And just hitting holes on the edge. You're
I
like,
don't
who
hate
is this fucking guy?
Yep.
Doesn't have the big arm. The shoulders like Chocky bloke.
Yeah. Carrying
Carrying suitcases everywhere at 18. I love Chocky.
This is the stat line for Trelly Mint. 7 carries, 58 metres. But he had 4 tackle breaks. He had 2 line break assists, and he scored 2 tries. Plus, he was 6 from 7 from the boot.
Yeah, like his stat line is like fucking so low. Like it's like he's like be like a triple double, like Nikola Jokic fucking stats. Do you know what I mean? Like you're like,
who's he like? Who's he like? What's a comp for him?
No, I don't know.
More so just being effective with the moments that he does get. But like even defensively, man, not poor, but shout out to Jacob Preston because fucking Trell got him twice clean.
He's strong, Jakey, too.
Fuck, man, he took it well.
Took one good. He took one good. It hurt.
The second one.
That got him here.
The second
because he didn't see it because he caught and he hit on the catch.
Yeah.
He did well to hold the ball.
Yeah, he did.
When you get hit like that, you're like, at least I held the ball.
Yeah. But yeah,
but it's his impact on the game.
Yeah.
He don't have to do that much. He never has to. It's like when you see Origin games, it's like, I don't even fuck if he touches the ball exactly 7 times. If he's doing that with the ball 7 times, like 2 line breaks, 2 tries.
That's strike centre.
Don't miss your centres. Yeah. Don't miss your assignments. Don't miss your play 2s or 3s and passes and goals.
I was walking up to him too because I wanted to go hello. You know, he's been on like a self-imposed media ban. He's not been doing any media. I was walking up to him and I was like,
we need this levels microphone. We'll be sweet.
Yeah. I went up to say hello and it's like not a knock on SEN, but he hasn't been doing any mainstream media. And he goes like, as I'm walking towards him, he goes, you want to like sort of like this? And I was going, fuck yeah. And he goes, who you with?
Yeah.
And I was like, SEN. And he goes, nah. For us for levels, but yeah, like I can't wait. And honestly, you know, like, I want to hear him back speaking after games. Like, not even selfishly for us at levels at SEN, but just the game's better. The character that he is, he puts bums on seats. I love watching him play. He's an entertainer, and he speaks.
He's a good talker.
Yeah, he's authentic with who how he speaks about the game. So I hope he takes himself off that.
Yeah. And he's got the fucking Yoda of media training behind him, Wayne Bennett.
But
he's the god of like media bans and that. When I first got over from France to go to Newey, not one person he let me talk to for 6 months. He goes, "You're not talking." He goes, "It'll change the narrative on you," and it fucking did. You know what I mean? Just let your footy do the talking and just don't say anything because I'll just bring up old shit from the 2000s. This is like 2012. You know what I mean? And I was like, you just listen to him and it's even people like Latrell now, everyone wants to hear him.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't spoken for a while.
Yeah, makes you want to chat to him even more.
And it's more quality. Because Wayne even taught me like this age ago. He goes, the less is more with you, Willie. He goes, don't be one of these fucking guys who's on every single channel because you're over-polarizing. I said, yeah, fuck, that's why I don't do that much. Try not to do that much. From his words, he's in 2004 he said this. And then he reiterated it in 2012. He's fucking, and I still talk to him about it. It's fucking amazing.
Troll's doing that stuff in the centres because Dry Gray is just doing a fucking great job at fullback. What about the try save? We'll get to it a little bit. Shout out to Anari Tuala too. I want to give him a rap, man. The way that he's handled the last couple of weeks and the way he's been going after the game. Because there's going to be so much criticism and critiquing around the Bulldogs and their style, which I'll get to in a little bit as well. But Dry Gray, the try saver on Tuala, and then he nearly got Tupanua over the sideline as well. Yeah. And he is like, I know he didn't save the try, but fuck, Dry Gray, for a small dude, I reckon he's hard.
Have you seen him in person?
Tiny.
He's got little arms and is he like that? He's like that little nug. I reckon he could squat 200.
I would love to know what he squats. Because he's tiny, mate. He is tiny. Like,
has he got Lukey?
Like he's legitimately Lukey's height.
Yeah, we're talking about at the pub.
Yeah,
I'm taller than him.
He is. I see him like he plays golf at the coast and that as well.
What a
but
legend.
His thickness and that allows him to get under people and sort of drive them back. If you go back and watch the replay on Tupanua, hit it.
Toops underestimated him.
Yes.
Because if that was Trell or something like that, a bigger fullback, you're in trouble there. But he knew that he was on the short side. Yeah. And you sort of, you got to go into those little fellas. Anyway,
so shout out to Dry Gray. He's been excellent for them. They've got a real team there. Like we were talking about it before. Penrith are a level above everyone. I think Broncos are the most dangerous because they've been there and done it and actually beat Penrith in a big game in recent history. And the next one is South if they can stay fit. I think they've got the talent and they will get game fitness.
Yeah.
Once they get game fitness, Mace, because I said today, another interview with Dave Fafita, I said, is it fair to say that you guys haven't even clicked on the left yet? And he's gone, yeah, he's really happy, loving being under Wayne.
Cam Murray's like
Kalomatangi.
just
Totola's playing really well.
He's got to stay fit.
They've got some really nice pieces, mate. They've got some really. They're four, and they're what 3 from 4 to start the season. So
I think so. Yeah.
Yep, with a buy in there as well. They're going to be a problem by the end of the year.
Yeah.
The Bulldogs. The big talking point out of the game, mate, is Critter going down, Ciro going Sean O'Sullivan and playing Sean O'Sullivan over Sherry. And his reasons after the game, Ciro said this in the presser after the game. The reason he chose Sean O'Sullivan is because he lost his best communicator in Stephen Crichton.
Yeah.
So therefore, that was the reason he selected Sean O'Sullivan over Sherry.
That's what everyone's talking about, isn't it? You know, because Cherry is obviously a left side centre.
Yep.
Everyone would have thought, well, we lost Critter, put him in. You know, like coaches think different. That looks good in like hindsight and everything like that because we lost. But I think he's clearly like trying to get like Sean O'Sullivan some reps, right? And this was the perfect time to do it. So Critter's out. Let's just see what it looks like to put Sean O'Sullivan at 7, Birdo at 6. No, Birdo in the centres and Galvin at 6. That's what they moved to, right?
Yep.
And that's probably what they're going to do this week.
Do you think?
Maybe. And then have Cherry come sliding in on one side and maybe Chuala misses out. I don't know.
I would.
That's the only sort of way I
you
can
can't
think.
drop Tuala.
Can.
I would.
I don't know. Like I thought he played all right. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but it's only because Cherry's out of favour and he's not playing and he's playing reserve.
Well, here's my constructive criticism for Ciro right now, right? And coaches go through this, and you know it might be a tough one for you to hear, but this is how I feel about it. I think Ciro's got a huge coaching career ahead of him.
Yeah.
But right now, he's going through probably the toughest part of his coaching career, and it's more so around selections and how players are being affected who aren't a part of the best 17. Now, everyone can sit there and be critiquing coaches and selections from a sideline because you don't have to have those strong decisions. Yeah. But I reckon Ciro's got to get better at that as a coach because it feels like a really unsettled group. They had... And I go back to it. They had a bombshell halfway through last year that he's been trying to figure out, the club's been trying to figure out as a process and how that looks. And off the back of that, it feels like it's unsettled the playing group. And it's by no means do I think it's easy, Mace. In fact, the reason I can speak on it is because I had those sorts of conversations with coaches throughout my career. Yeah. I got dropped a number of times, Mace. So I know the difference between a guy who can communicate and tell me the right things, but also... I can tell you that there were a number of coaches where I got absolutely nothing out of those conversations. In fact, I didn't know when I was ever going to be back, and I felt like I was out of favour. Yeah. Now, how you handle those situations is really important as a coach, and I can see it. You know, I told you on the way in here, I felt the energy. The energy felt yuck around the Bulldogs.
Did you feel the energy with the Bulldogs, right?
Down on the sideline. I went down there. You could feel, obviously the game wasn't going well, so that's to be expected as well. But I went down there and you can feel, I keep going back to the word connection. There's a lack of connection right now, I believe, from the Bulldogs, from an outsider looking in. And that comes back to having really honest and truthful conversations with people who aren't playing. Is there a genuine path for them to return? And...
Are you talking players that aren't in the 17, 19?
Well, just the prime example right now is Sherry.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Like, is he a legitimate chance to play? What's he doing on the bench? Because I get the thought process around the communication because everything that we've heard out of Bulldogs camp and people raving about Sean O'Sullivan throughout his career is great human, really good communicator, game managing half. For all of those reasons, okay, tick. But also, like, there's part of me that doesn't like that if I'm hearing that and I'm in the Burton and Galvin camp, right? Because those two guys, communication-wise, got you guys to an 18-12 lead. You were leading that game, Mace, when Critter went down. So my thing would be, like, do we not back Galvin and Burton to continue to get the job done? Just put in a straight swap with a guy like Bronson Sherry who's got the job done before. Now... Like I keep going back to it, I believe in Ciro, I believe in the coach, and I think there is a path for him to have these really tough conversations, get all this unrest out of the club, and it probably has to be done individually before it's done as a collective as well. Yeah. But they need to address what's going on. I really think I believe Sherry needs to be given a reasonable chance to fight his way back into the lineup because I was watching Sean O'Sullivan heavily get targeted in that game, and I think he's a great backup. And I always use the example of Jack Cogger playing at Penrith, who's going to be a great backup. We've already seen what Sandon Smith can do for the Knights when you have injuries and your playing group is stripped. But right now, I think
it's not at that case where we have to put him in, I thought. And I'm not, in Ciro's, head or anything like that. Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking at that time. He's probably honest after it going, I need a good communicator because it's not happening in the halves at the moment, right? So that's what he's probably thinking. Then he gets the chance to put Sean O'Sullivan in, thinking he's a good communicator in attack. What about the flip side? Yeah. In defence, right? That's what you're looking at. 50% of the game is fucking defence. And he probably never thought of that and didn't think that they would swap and really target O'Sullivan. Because you, as I said, when you come off the bench for these games, it's fucking, they're already set, all these players. They've got their lines all clicked in. They know exactly where they're running. Fafita, Tallis Duncan, they went straight at him.
What about
left three as well?
Yeah.
Hardest position in the world. Was your right shoulder tackle, dipping in, turning out. You fucking get done. Every one of these guys on the edge, where it come from Pezzett, Nicarima, all these guys, what position do they play? Left three, hardest position in the game, right? So it's like he didn't think that he'd let in that many tries.
So can I ask you?
So what if he didn't? You know what I mean?
So do you think this is what he was thinking again? And like, even though I disagree with it, I don't necessarily hate the reasoning behind it because you were winning 18-12. And you probably want a game manager to come in and protect that lead and kick the corners.
That's what he thought, I reckon.
But my pushback would be, fuck, come on and back you guys, Burton and Galvin, and understand that they can be, for their development and their ceiling as a halves combination, would have been awesome for them to come on. And Sherry and Matt Burton last year, mate, no one scored on that edge.
No,
they were fucking elite to start the season. So... I found that one strange, and he's copping a lot of flack for it. And that's a part of being coaching.
Of course, and like he made, in hindsight, you look at that, and if you come on and he controlled the game and communicated the game and made his tackles and did everything, and we won, we look like a fucking genius. And this is the fucking the other shit take from being a coach. You fucking live and die on the sword. You make that decision. It was a fucking big decision at that time, right? You got Cherry, who's the left side centre, and everyone's like, that's a fucking easy swap. That's who you've been whinging about. Give him his chance so he can fucking make everything right again. That's what I was thinking. But I knew there was another option there because I know if Critter's out for a little while, right, you're going to be thinking, fucking Sean O'Sullivan's going to be starting this week maybe, right? And then you get the chance to move Galvin at 6 and you get Berto at left centre and whatever the fuck plays on the right side of Chihuahua or Cherry. Yeah. Maybe you're thinking a week ahead instead of right there and then. And it come out his worst case scenario, right? We fucking 18-12, and then we just lost it, right? And then Sean O'Sullivan gets spotted up. You got to make your tackles. Don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? You be the best communicator in the game, get a good kicking game, all that sort of shit. Make your fucking tackles. They were right in front of you, you know. And that's the other side of coaching where you're like, fuck. Oh, hindsight. I wish I had to put fucking Cherry in. Yeah. You know, but that's what you live and die by the sword, and that's what his thoughts were after the game. He's honest enough to say that. Fuck. What do you do?
I think, here's what I would do. What
do you do this week?
I think you've now got hindsight. You've got the Penrith Panthers coming to, I think, as a core stadium.
Who cares? Yeah, you're playing Penrith.
Doesn't matter where they play.
Could be at Belmore.
You're right. Could be back up at fucking North Queensland or Suncorp. But it is going to matter for this. Sean O'Sullivan, Panthers know him well.
Yeah.
He's been an understudy for Nathan.
The dog's over there.
You got Liam Martin. You got Paul Alamotti, who always looks to prove a point every time he plays the Bulldogs since leaving as well. So you got a number of guys that are going to want to target that area. I think it would be crazy to go with O'Sullivan this week in the halves. For me personally, you go to Burton, you trust and make sure the communication is on par. You give them, and I'll use this as an example as well because I keep going back to me being dropped a number of times. There are times throughout my career where I was playing in a way despite knowing that I was on the outer with the coach, and then that got out. You know that motivated me. Like it was a weird, like, I know it shouldn't be like that, and that might sound weird to people, but I was trying to play well despite the coach. I knew the coach probably wasn't in favour, or I wasn't a part of the long-term plans. But it also brought out...
that should motivate.
It brought out a performance in me. So I think if it'd be...
Put Cherry in.
If you put Sherry in right now and you put Bird in there, those two guys are going to want to fucking prove you wrong in a way.
Birdo's at that stage. That's what I'm saying. Like, how's Birdo feeling out there? He's a fucking gun. He's our best player. I said it at the start. Either left centre or 5'8". I don't give a shit. Just fucking he's got 3 on his back or he's got 6. Just give him a fucking role where he knows what he's doing because he knows how to play centre.
Yeah.
Fucking 4 years ago, he got Dally M Centre of the Year. He can play the centre. Galvin can play 6, but it'll be interesting to see if Ciro does trust the Burton Galvin thing or he doesn't.
Yeah.
Or does he trust O'Sullivan now because of that 20 minutes that he had, 25 minutes? Can you trust him in an 80-minute game?
Yeah.
So this is and regardless of that sort of thing, how are the Bulldogs playing anyway?
Oh, you know what?
Considering
I've got Connor Tracy as a reflection of the team right now. He's wholehearted.
Yeah.
In terms of effort, he always gives you a 10 out of 10. He's clearly down on confidence. And that's a reflection of the squad. And that's a reflection of the connection. He's made a couple of errors. I watched him, when you're at the game, you're able to watch people's movements. Yeah. After he come up with a couple of errors where I think he had a pretty unforced error off a kick return. You could just see his confidence was down. And that's just a reflection of where the team's at. They need you know what? This is as crazy as this may sound. And if Ciro ends up going with Birdo and Sherry and they're able to almost prove a point, I reckon even a strong performance against the Panthers this week could be exactly what the Bulldogs need.
It's exactly like how we got beat by them last year, but we put our fucking balls on the line.
Yes.
That's all we want to see. As fans, ex-player, you just want to see him play and just leave everything out in the field. I think they've got another couple of gears. They're just trying to sort their shit out. And I think, this week, when you go up against a team like Penrith, they bring the best out in you, or they can absolutely school you. Yes. You know what I mean? So what I'm seeing from the Dogs now, we're one of those teams that are coming in and out of games and not sustaining the pressure that we love to put on teams with these 7 or 8 minute long grinds. We're not getting in them. Yeah. We're not getting in them, right? So we're not fatiguing that other side where last year we're fucking doing it all the time. These long grinds and then breaking other teams' will and then getting them at the back end.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to get back to. And this starts with defence. It starts with defence. It starts with the middles. We've got to be a lot more dominant. Yardage penalties are killing us.
3 or 4.
This is the same. This is the same sort of rap on every team that's losing.
Yeah.
It's the discipline and the yardage and sustained pressure and everything. And we're one of those teams that we're not doing it for 60, 70 minutes. We're about 50 minutes in.
Yep.
And this is sporadic too. 6 minutes good and then off and then 3 minutes good and then the other team will have the ball for 10 minutes. It's like it takes its toll.
It does. All right, let's move on to the Panthers 50 defeating the Storm 10. Jay Williams wrote this, but there was a couple of people, and I know there have been a few shows highlighted, even Nathan talked about it in the presser after. Just something I saw in the very last play at the Panthers game that I think shows where they're at this year, especially compared to last year. Watching Dill, Edwards and Lindsay Smith bust their ass from the scrum to help make a play already up 40 typifies where this team is at this season compared to everyone else in the comp. And even themselves at this point last season, love your work. I'll go back to it. A couple of weeks ago, I was lucky enough to call that game Panthers versus the Roosters. And a similar situation, they're up by 30 plus against the Roosters, and the most animated that I seen the box get was when Luke Garner got out of marker and put pressure on Connor Watson that led to an error near the line. They value that more than anything else, and then off the back of it, their situational defense is just next level. And I was thinking about this watching the game as well, Mace, because of the detail that you talked about with their plays 1s and 2s, but their detail around their first contact when they have a connected line is almost perfect, mate.
Oh, it's beautiful.
The first person gets, there are so many things that are drilled into you, right? And you do at training that for whatever reason, the wrestling, the hours and the detail that you put into those sessions. But when you get in the game, fatigue comes in and you sort of forget about little parts of it, and maybe someone doesn't want to, attack the legs. I was watching them for large periods of this game. Most notably Isaiah Yeo. If anyone runs into him, he gets good contact, shoulder to chest, wraps up the ball. And if there's a second person there, he very quickly dips, hits the hips, and it's a controlled tackle.
And whoever has the ball too, like he'll change levels.
Control it.
Yeah, it's fucking magic.
And then if they can't, right, like if that second person for some reason gets tangled up or his arm's in the tackle, the person that's in and around there never gets back or tries to retreat. He sees an opening and he attacks the hips and they take him down. Like their attention to detail on defense is just second to none right now. And alternatively, like another part of it is if someone's skipping across the field and there's not an opportunity to make that tackle defensively and just wrap him up and get the perfect result of a tackle, they also manage that well. They understand that
situational. Like it's all situational.
Yes.
Like if someone's running direct, right? First guy, bang, as you said, unders on one arm, trying to get him higher. That's what you're trying to do.
Yep.
I'm trying to hit the ball on his right side, trying to get my arm on your left one to try and unbalance you. Someone else comes in, and then if you've got ball, he needs to lower and trying to get around the waist. And if you're going against a Taumalolo or a fucking Fanua Blake, one of these big guys, then someone comes in and snaps legs. And he gets out and busts straight back to A. And the other two stay on. The guy with the ball, you watch how tight he's like an anaconda, mate. He's right around that ball to the depth. Two of the guys on the fucking ground. Second mark gets up. Guy with the ball gets up last. Fingers pointing. Fucking hips all straight. It's perfect. It's Ciro's fucking thing. That's why I know all of it, right? Because of all of Ciro's detail. Yep. He's so detailed in defense, right? And they just put it. And as you said before, fatigue hit you, might go out the window. It doesn't go out the window of those guys. No. In every situation. So when a guy, an outside back, is going zooming around and trying to find space, they just form a fence.
They change their approach.
They come up and they form a fence. They try and push you into some little place where the guy can catch you.
Yeah.
And it works again.
Yeah.
Right? You're not trying to hit the fuck out of him.
If they don't, Mace, they don't double down. They don't try to put a shot on you, and they also manage the situation by, I'll watch him. They'll go, all right, they don't have an opportunity for someone to get in hips, and he sort of gets his bumpers and gets to the ground. They just concede that they're not going to get that perfect tackle, but they also stay clean and make sure they don't give away a six again.
So they'll form like a fence and they'll wait for you to come into one thing and then catch you, right? And then it starts again. Yeah. It's all situational and it's fucking perfect.
I've talked about this a number of times.
There's nothing that we can say about it. It's everyone just catch up to Penrith what they're doing.
Yeah. Just we got that before. We talked about that before at the start. Nath Daly M. This could be the year for Nath for the Daly M, right?
So.
Like
stay healthy, son.
Everything just looks just pristine at the moment. He's in full control. Let's get to the Storm part of this, and I'll throw some stats at you from a random stats guy. So the average in the NRL era has been 5.6 teams have conceded 50 points or more per season. Since the 6 again rule, that went up to 6.7 teams. We already have 4.
Jeez. So they're out.
So the history says that those teams can't win the competition. The most teams to concede 50 points in a season is 10. So we got all the way up to 10 in 2021, which is no surprise, right? And even last year they had 10. The most 50-point scores in the first 5 rounds is 5. Already this decade we have had 10 more 50-point scores, so that's a reflection of the 6 again rule. That's a big part of it.
Wow.
And C. Barone wrote this one. That's a chat around the play from Cooper Clark, which we'll get to in a bit. But yeah, the point is now that's 4 teams that have been blown out by 50 to start the season. We've got Manly, the Dolphins, not Manly, sorry, Eels, Dolphins, Storm, and who was the other team? There's one more team that's got 50 put on it.
Titans? Cowboys?
Titans. Nice. Titans. So going back to what I said at the start of the show with Milky and having that 30 Alex Johnson try record in range, how many teams are they going to put 50 on? Because they've had the hardest part.
I reckon 10.
Well.
10 teams.
I reckon the most, and it starts with the Bulldogs this week. The teams that are under threat the most are the teams in the next 4 or 5 weeks before, all the way up to Magic Round. So Dolphins already got it, so it doesn't matter. The Dogs, better watch out this week. It can go one way or the other this week. The Knights, they're playing probably better than a lot of people assumed. Do they get Dill Brown, Callum are back around that time? We'll wait and see. But the way the Knights have been playing, you wouldn't think that that could be the case. Manly, who knows what they're like by the time round 9 rolls around. The Raiders down in Canberra and the Dragons are another team to watch out for at Magic Round 11.
Oh, Jesus.
That could be ugly.
Some crazy stats,
What's that? They're playing. They're the last game of Magic Round 2.
Yeah.
What was like Storm's statistics? Like, they completed like
94%.
94%, and you still get done by 50.
94%.
It's fucking unbelievable. And this is where, like, don't get confused with stats and analytics, right? Usually you'd win a game by that. Where were they? They were just coming out of yardage all the time, getting fucking bashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every time they had the ball, they were fatigued. So they're always going to complete their sets. Storm, they're always pretty good at that. Get to their kick. That's all you can do against the Panthers. Get to your kick. Get to your kick.
You could tell by the end of the game, Money, Hughes, and even Harry come off there for a little bit at the end. So hopefully Harry's good to go next week. But they looked, and even Bellamy looked past frustrated. And that's dangerous for the rest of the competition. When the big three at Melbourne and Bellamy look lost for answers.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll try to figure out ways around to beat the test if they get another opportunity. But right now, is despair the right word? Is that the way that they...
I like that. It's a little bit of despair.
A little bit of despair, like, we're completing at 94%. We're working hard for each other. Here's a good message from C. Barone around Cooper Clark, and I did notice this. Neutral fan watching Penrith versus Storm. I noticed with the scores 38-10 and Penrith making a break down the right edge for the Edwards try, Cooper Clark in the background chasing his ass off. Didn't stop. Hopefully big things from him in the future. Like, Melbourne were working their fucking ass out. Like, it was...
That's what gets me. You're going, I'm like 90-something%, and this still happens to the Melbourne Storm. I wouldn't mind if the lower teams that you sort of expect them to do that too, but not the Storm.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be the second best team.
Yeah.
Supposed to be.
Wish we had money on. I'd love the post reaction, just to sort of.
You're not talking about this shit for fucking years. This game, over it.
No.
What it sort of feels like.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what it feels like, honestly, to complete it 90+%.
And he was on too to begin the game. He was on.
Yeah, they were on, and I've never been in a position like this when you think you're all right, and then you look at the scoreboard like, it's 50? I thought we played all right. Like, when someone puts 50 on you, everyone's shit.
Yeah.
About 2 or 3 blokes can hold their head up. All the rest is fucking, let's just get out of here. Didn't feel like that. It felt like, they should be in this. Nowhere near it.
This game wasn't as complimentary for the losing team. Let's get to it now. The Cowboys 32 defeated the Dragons 0. I got a good message from an L1 from day one too. I actually forgot to put his username on, but he will know who he is. But let's start off with the Cowboys because I always like to start with the positives. And you could tell Todd Payton was sympathetic for Flano after the game, but also talked about how they needed a scrappy win against the Titans to get themselves going. They backed it up with a strong performance against the Storm. Even though I tipped the Cowboys in this game, Mace, I was worried about them because I thought
about Dragons.
This was the game where you can have a good victory against a good outfit like Melbourne Storm, but then drop the ball when you come down.
Were you worried about the Cowboys more than the Dragons?
I tipped the Cowboys, but I could have. I'd assumed that it was going to be a tough place to play, and they might have struggled against the Dragons. It wasn't the case, mate. They were awesome. Drinky and Purdue have been the storyline so far for the Cowboys, but so many guys that are playing well in this little streak. And I thought Tom Chester really repaid Peyton by putting him straight back in the team as well.
Doesn't it kill you? Like with I was watching this game closely just to see where St. George is going and see if the Cowboys look like they're playing for their coach. Like this, when you're Toddy Payton, you're like they could easily just fucking, a couple of little effort areas, not really put them in, but they look like they're playing for their coach and each other. When Purdue scored that try after like massive pressure from St. George and just fucking our boy, the 6, he's killing it. Clifford's killing it. Yeah. Just takes a hard fucking line and then pops it to Purdue. Purdue puts on the move of the year, in and out, and then takes him to the corner. Like that there's a couple of little things that happened to the Dragons like that. That was against the run of play. They were long distance tries. Yeah. That fucking breaks your heart. Yeah. You're working so hard in the middle. You're doing everything right. And then bang, you can't. And it's heartbreaking, right?
Cowboys are entertainers, man.
Yeah, I like
They
watching
can take you from any part
Yes,
of the field.
and they've got players out there like Tricky, Purdue, Clifford, and our man fucking
Clifford.
the seven
Chester?
fucking forgetting his name. Didn't.
Oh.
He had a game as well.
Yeah, Didden was better.
Like he finally made 2 line breaks. It was he put a stamp on the game, but they were hard. They're hard to beat.
No.
The Cowboys.
Man, shout out to Clifford as well because he's been around for a while. He went down to Newcastle. He returned after a stint in the Super League. He's got you can see in his body shape. You can see in his face. I look for that all the time. Again, I always sort of go back to me when I was playing good footy. And, when I put on weight, the first thing that fucking blows out for me is my face. I could see it. That's why I love doing content. It makes me stay in check now. But I could always see, and when I look back in photos and see playing cards and all that sort of stuff, I can see when I had down years because it was in my face.
Yeah.
Like I'd put on, like I had a couple of kilos.
He's got that.
Try machine you were just feeding yourself with tries.
Yeah. I was on fire. Anyway, but you can see with Clifford, he's dropped a couple of kilos around the face and the rest of the body looks good.
He's bigger than you think.
He faced 6'1".
Yeah.
Strong ball runner, like carried through. It's a tough watch for Dragons.
Unassuming, like to look at him on the field and go, yeah, well, he's not that big. Like he's bigger and faster than you think, and that's why they're slipping on him. He'll hit inside shoulders, mate. You better be careful.
Yeah.
Then their backline, Purdue, I reckon Purdue will play Origin this year. I think he'll play left centre.
Yeah.
I think that Val might be done.
Well, they had Shibasaki in Game 3 last year, remember? He was a feel-good story.
He can play right side. I don't think he cares, Purdue.
Well, Rob Toya's on the right. So I'm with you, mate. I think if I was to name my team right now...
Yeah. They'll go with Shibba, but because of their Queenslander, they won, right? I'm thinking. Billy's pretty loyal like that.
Yeah, but loyal as in, like, if Shibba had played the full series, like, it was a great story last year, and I love Shibasaki, the player, but... Fuck, man, Purdue's going to be hard to hold out.
No, I agree.
Or he could be the perfect 18-19 with the 6-man bench.
Yeah, he'd be somewhere in the team.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just thinking. He'll play Origin.
Yeah.
Left centre or like the 18-19 guy. Yeah, he's outstanding.
I felt big for Michele, Tommy Michele.
Oh, when they brought the try back.
Thomas
92
Michele. It is
games.
Thomas Michele.
Yeah.
92 games, he hasn't had a try, and he
fucking lot, isn't it?
He even got down and prayed.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Lord on Easter Sunday. Or on
That's what I'm like. Just give it to him.
He couldn't do it.
That was
Reed
bad.
Money definitely touched it.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let's get to this one for the Dragons. They've got plenty of layers here, and we're going to talk about this in depth. G'day, legend. I didn't even write any notes because it's one thing we just need to talk about as a team.
I was thinking that was a waste.
Apologies for the long comment, but as a Dragons supporter for life, that was one of the most pathetic performances I've seen from the Dragons in 32 years of loving and supporting them.
Jeez.
There is something seriously wrong with the club at the moment. They obviously need a new coach. I supported Flano's appointment originally, but he hasn't lived up to the hype. He cannot seem to motivate them. The rot started over a decade ago with terrible recruitment and total neglect of the Dragons' pathways. They have one of the biggest junior areas in the competition, but haven't utilised it properly. They let so many decent players go, and recruited has-beens. Granted, some growth is shown in regards to juniors, but it's just a little. Hopefully, it's not too little, too late. I love my Dragons and always will. Tonight's defeat, especially being at the spiritual home at Cogra, was abominable.
Abominable. Snowman.
Yeah. I know the big Triple OG loves ripping on the Bulldogs rivals, but would love to hear the best in the biz dissect where it's all gone wrong from your professional viewpoint.
That's a good take, but I've been watching the Dragons for like a couple of weeks, and they're exactly what I'm talking about. Their completions are awful. They drop the ball all the time. They're undisciplined, and then they have to play one out.
There was a stat yesterday that Jimmy said to me on SEN. Do you know they've only made the finals once in the last 10 years, the Dragons?
What?
I didn't think of
that. I've always been a solid team, right? No, I'm not like.
Yeah.
I'm talking
I
like
know.
12,
that was
13,
surprising.
they'll start. They'll always finish that or equal points of eighth position and all that sort of stuff. But the Dragons, like, what I say about the really good teams, they just do totally opposite. Like their middles, it's like they're too big. Yeah. Right? We said it last year. They've got some really big boys. You've got the Gula's a massive guy. You've got Luch and Jaden Sewer on the edge with Hamish Stewart at lock.
Yeah.
And who's the other front rower?
Emre Gula
and
Blake Laurie started this
Laurie. Like, that's a big fucking pack. And granted, Sewer is a beast, right? He's he's an absolute animal, and so is Leilua. But it takes its toll when you're not dominating the middle and you're not moving as fast, right? When the Cowboys scored a couple of those tries, and then King Tonga seemed to turn in, that's because Leilua can't put pressure on Dearden.
Yeah.
So all those little things, and when you've got a left three again, who just sitting there, and then you've got such a dynamic back line, and they can get at you with a long ball from fucking Reed Marnie throwing lasers to Dearden, who'll catch on the outside of the four-man. But that's up to Leilua to adjust, right? And come up, and he gets Dearden, and then it's man on man. You play, it's 3-on-3. But because, like in King Tonga, doesn't have trust in the left four guy, he turns in because he doesn't know how to defend those positions.
Yeah.
But if the left forward puts pressure on, he can just hold, and it's just man on push to the sideline. But he comes in, there's hands. These centers are too good. Drinky's too good with the ball. Like you got these guys that have got class hands, and that's all they practice is that left three, getting him to turn in. So Dearden, and you got someone out the back. It's too much evasion going on. All right. And then their middles, then they'll drop the ball and they'll make mistakes. They'll give penalties away. And then it just seems to be one out footy, which other teams swallow up.
I sort of want to stick up for their middles and their outside.
No,
backs
I like their middles, but
because I seen Kiri again, going back to Kiri Woodsy
red hot crack
arguing this as well. The problem with the connection, and sometimes attack can lead to poor defense because you start to not give up, but you start to lose faith in whether you can score points or not at the moment. And that's where sort of the Bulldogs are at a little bit, probably to a lesser degree, but that's definitely where the Dragons are at with their connection. I go back to that Parramatta game when 11 players out of the 17 had well over 100 metres.
Yep.
So when you play a game like that and you still lose by 10, you start to lose belief in whether you can score points. Now, they didn't score a point in this game against the Cowboys team, who are not necessarily known for their defence either, right? There is, I think, it's like the forwards and the players, they've lost belief in whether they can actually score points when they get into the red zone. So there's a lack of connection, there's a lack of belief, and then guess what? You end up starting doing. I've been in teams like this as well, Mace, where you stop worrying about what the team is doing.
Yeah, the individual.
And you start worrying about what your performance is like, right?
That's what it looks like.
All you do is you go into, all right, I'm going to fucking get my stats. I'm going to try to make my tackles. And I don't care about what anyone else happens. As much as you hate to hear that as a fan, that's where I believe the Dragons
and
are.
I hate saying that right now because I look at when I say, and I compliment the Panthers for like running in threes with that string sort of shape. They're playing block shape, the face balls, everything. I don't see one middle for the Dragons pass the ball ever. It's one off the ruck. I see Sua and Leilua. They fucking hold that edge so good. Like they run as hard as they can, right? And then the flip side is, they're giving so much ball away. Leilua can't put pressure on the 7. That's what I'm getting to with King Tonga and everything like that. They can't pressure the 7s because they're under the pump so much, and their middles aren't mobile like Penrith, like the Warriors, like the Broncos, and they can't put inside pressure on because they're fucked. It's a fatigue thing.
Yep.
There's no fear factor in the game other than your fatigue.
I think they're getting fatigued by disappointment of not being able to.
And yeah, of course, there's a lot of factors coming into St. George, but they're not playing the right footy. Like their halves look like they're fucking lost. Their back rowers look like, just give me the fucking ball early because I don't trust you to go near the line. Yeah, that's what Sua's doing. You know what Sua's doing. He's running fucking, get to the line, dig in. I'm running outside in lines. Yeah. How about you go out the back sometimes, mate? Like there was about, you see Gutho's arms get thrown up fucking 400 times in that game because he knows if you go at the back, it's 3-on-2, what other teams are doing to them. Yeah. And you can skin them on the back end.
Yeah, and again, this is trying to figure out what the issue is with it, and you can talk about the ball playing as well. It's like, because they're not scoring points or because, there are errors in the game, like are the playmakers thinking, all right, let's just play a real conservative style here. Like rather than, again, going back to this now, rather than getting a video and worrying about what's going wrong in the game or not having a crucial area, they're just going, I'm going to play short here. I'm just going to tip on. I don't want to be the reason that we get in the video and then we get hammered because, I've gone out the back and it's led to an error or stuff like that. That's what it feels like right now with the Dragons.
What happens when they go left? King Tonga just turns Lucci underneath. Yeah. And if they go right, Atkinson just hits Sua. It's flat, nice. And they run good lines at that and they get really good lines, really good fucking activation after the play the ball, right? The line the ruck speed goes up because they're running hard.
Look at the stat line for Luch: 20 carries for 240.
See, like he's not. You can't. Sorry, and then we look at that and go, fuck. Like Luch needs to play a little bit better in defense and all that. You look at his stats. If you're another team, you're like, nah, Luch is fucking playing his ass off.
34 tackles, 1 miss.
Yeah, but it's the little things, right? It's the little things with Luch's game that he needs. He needs the middles to be working harder. And this is a fatigue thing, and this is what I keep saying throughout the whole thing in the last 5 weeks, the Dragons are doing it the worst over everything. And this is why they're getting fucking pumped every game.
It's a huge game coming up against Manly this week.
Yeah.
Huge game. I really think Flano this week, it will determine whether he's the head coach next week.
Yeah.
I think they had a big meeting. I would go, hopefully Kyle's health is okay this week. I would bring in Cade Reed. I said it last week. Give Cade Reed a crack. They need Flano can work, they can say all the right things around the development of making sure they look after Cade Reed. They need a spark, mate. They've got nothing inside the 20. Bring on Cade Reed. Turn Daniel Atkinson into a. I still think Daniel Atkinson can play 7 at the NRL, and I've got high hopes for Daniel Atkinson. But he also needs someone that's going to create something on the other side. And at the moment, hasn't been there with like in King Tongi or even Flano when Kyle was playing. Yeah. Give Cade Reed a crack. I need to see more minutes from Jacob Little as well.
I'd love to see what they do during the week of training and left on rights and the moves that they can put on when you're not fatigued compared to what happens when they're in the game and they're just getting fucking hammered on the opposite side. You know what I mean? As I said, fatigue is the biggest fear factor in the game right now, and they seem to be under the pump all the time, not winning field position and everything. What I keep talking about with the other good sides, they're totally opposite. It's fucking hard. It'd be hard for the Dragons middles to try and string a fucking pass together.
Yeah, and
it's hard for Leilua and Jude and Jaden Sewer to go. Just give me the fucking ball, mate. Yeah, because you don't trust your 7 and 6.
Yeah,
and you don't, and you're not digging into the line properly on the 6. So Luch is going, just turn me under. That's what I'd do if I had a little a guy who's played fucking 10 games, early ball, mate. Don't even try and get near the line. Yeah, because I don't trust you. And that's where it is there. Because Leilua is fucking. He's a gun left side back right. And say fucking Jaden Sewer. They barely dropped the ball. Look at the stat line that Leilua's throwing up. And Jaden Sewer, they've been their best too.
And Val needs to get. They need to unlock Val and get some.
Their main players, I don't know. It's hard.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one, Dragon, because you got a team there they fucking go. They're big and they're physical, but it's just not working in today's game.
Well, you look on the flip side. You said the Cowboys players responded and lifted for Todd Payten. I hate going back to it, and we'll talk about it later on with Newcastle as well. But you can see that sometimes a coaching change, and it's not even an indication really of the coach, or whether he's a good coach or not. It just the messaging from that particular coach with this playing group might have just run its course.
Have you been in a situation like that?
Yep, a couple of times without throwing. Yeah. I won't throw the.
No, I think I've been in a situation when I went to the Cowboys in 2010. It was at the end of I think they got the grand final in 2005 and 2004 they got to the prelim against us. And there's a few things going on. And then when I got there, it was probably at the end of that whole sort of era. But we had a gun team, right? But they were sick of Neil Henry, who was the coach, who I'm good friends with. But he was sick of the players and the players were sick of him. And then when I got there, I could just sort of feel it. JT had probably his worst year of all time then. And they wanted to get rid of him. Matty Bowen was at the end of his career. That was at knee injuries. Yep. So everyone, Matty Scott was just coming up. James Tamo was there. Luke O'Donnell was there. I was there. Willie Tonga was there. Matty Bowen, JT. We had a fucking stacked side. The only reason why we didn't get the wooden spoons is because Melbourne fucked up with the points. Yeah. But you're talking about a team there that was stacked, but it was the timing of what was happening in the last 3 to 4 years where the players stopped listening to the coach. It was like it wasn't receiving. I was in video session because I was only signed 1 year deal then and fucked off because I was like, I can't. This is fucked.
The energy's off.
Yeah, it was way off. And then Gus tells some great stories. He said that when he went up there, he was the guy that put all the pieces back together with JT, with everybody. And JT thanks him in his book and everything like that. Wow. Yeah, it's a big thing where Gus went up there to talk to Neil Henry, to talk to all the people up in North Queensland and pretty much fix the whole system up there. JT probably had because that's when JT was going to come down to Penrith. Right, so it was in that sort of era where he, in that part of his career where he's starting 7 for Australia and the Cowboys and fucking Queensland, everything. But few injuries here and there, few little discipline sort of things.
Yep.
And he fucking fixed himself and become arguably the greatest player of all time from 2010, right?
So Neil Henry moved on.
Neil Henry moved on, and then to sort of give the reins to fucking JT and Matty Scott, and they had a really good team. Then they built into that championship team in 2015. You know, so they had a few things, a few little kinks to wear out. But I remember being part of that. I'm like, fuck, we've got a team here. There's a reason why I went to the Cowboys. I'm like, there's a team here. And then you realise when fans go, oh, it's not the coach. They're not out there fucking making tackles for you. I'm like, yeah, I understand that. I get it. I'm one of those people as well. Like, yeah, accountability, but like people start hearing the same voice. The message starts getting lost in translation. You're like, fuck off. You know what I mean? That's what players are like. You don't hear you. That's what it's as raw as I can say. You get the message starts getting a little bit stale, and you're like, and that's what it looks like for Dragons. And I love Flano. I think it's just maybe run its course.
Yeah, it could be. Broncos 26 defeat the Titans 10 as well. That's 3 in a row now for the reigning Prems, but a couple of injuries, big ones out of it. So Ren said he could have returned in the presser after the game. Walsh is going to be at least 4 weeks, maybe 6 with a fractured cheekbone. And Benny Hunt, he is 6 to 8 with a grade 3 MCL late in that game. So it come at a cost, but
it's a good game. What about the vibe? What about the vibe at Seabus? I don't want to get it wrong. Gold Coast Titans.
Yes,
that was when the Titans were half decent, like 9, 10, 11, 12.
That's the best crowd they've had in a long time.
LaFranchi and Greg Bird, Nate Miles, Luke Bailey, Scotty Prince, Preston Campbell vibes. I was like, fucking look at that stadium rocking.
Yep. It's definitely like, obviously the huge factor is the reigning premiers, Reece Walsh and the Broncos stars, but still.
And long weekend.
But I will say.
Look good visually.
Titans fans, you do get questioned every now and again about your fan base and your loyalty. But when you turn up for your team like they do, and I believe this is a representation of, even though results haven't been going their way, I think Titans fans believe in the effort and they believe in the vision in which they're going. And yeah, the Broncos were a huge part of the successful, or the reasoning behind the big crowd. But also, I think the Titans, they've still got a ways to go.
Yeah.
But you can definitely see some signs that there's a commitment to changing the trajectory of where they've been in the last couple of years.
You know, one thing fans don't really get wrong is when they've got a fucking decent team to get behind.
Yeah, effort.
They will not get behind a team that doesn't put any effort in.
Yeah.
Right? And that goes from the fucking Bulldogs to St. George to the Broncos, everyone. They don't get it wrong. And if they look at a team like the Titans and go, here's a team I can get behind. I'll fucking travel all the way out there. You know, like, and we'll pack this stadium out. Like,
it's a rough place to go to.
If they had their time again, it'd be on the beach. But, you know, like, this is what it looks like. This is what it exactly looks like. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool for Josh Hannay, that supporter base. And it lifts, and you can't tell me that crowd did not lift that team.
For sure.
Fucking Tino come out of a cannon.
Yep.
It was good to see.
And I thought Paddy Carrigan the last couple of weeks has been awesome. We thought that Paddy had better footy in front of him and Payne to start the season. Like, they still had good stat lines, but they have set the bar so high that we expect more.
We can see what they like. I can visually see it when Paddy Carrigan's on or off, and Payne Haas. And because the Panthers got him in the first game, and it looked like they were off the pace, the Broncos, and then Parra got him, right? And it's just like, fuck. You got Paddy Carrigan and Payne Haas in your forward pack. Now you got Payne Haas and Paddy Carrigan in your forward pack because they're fucking dominating.
Well, especially because
Paddy Carrigan was outstanding on the weekend. 80 minutes.
When Paddy missed last week, it's 3 weeks in a row now that Madge has played him 80. He's enjoyed that extra responsibility. I also think he's their best vocal leader as well when it really matters. I watched that clip from Fox that they did a couple of years ago. Adam Reynolds is the skipper. But I think the player that I see that the playing group respond to more so, again, not a knock on Reynolds, but just like he seems to be that player that doesn't have to say a lot, but when he does, it means a lot more. And I feel like he's lifted because Payne's been out, and Payne only played 50 in this game. So he took it upon himself to lead with both actions and I could see the way he's communicating and around the group and getting people in place. And it was chaotic around him. He lost Reynolds early. Like, they lost the skipper. Then they lose Walshy just before halftime, and then they lose Ben Hunt at the end of the game, and he just steadies the ship.
Yeah.
I remember speaking to Walshy after that
He's
game
got that
in Canberra.
demeanour, man.
And I interviewed Walshy after the Canberra comeback in the finals last year, and he goes, he went into the sheds and he looked at Paddy, and Paddy goes, let's fucking go. Don't worry about the result. Let's just go after this game when we get back out there.
He's Walshy, that start of the game, I'd never seen
Exploded.
anyone more electric.
Yeah.
It's like Billy Slater-esque when he sort of fucking, you know what I mean? Just shit like that. Like that left foot kick in a little tram line too, just to jump over the fullback.
With all respect to Billy Slater, he's
got this. No, he's
talented.
No, I was going to say, I just don't want to fucking throw.
I
Billy.
know.
Billy. I'm talking Billy's peak is what I'm seeing in Walshy's 5th year.
He's starting to get Billy's consistency.
Yeah,
he is.
But it's the passing and the kicking game that Billy never had, and he developed that.
Yeah,
which is natural to Walshy.
Yeah.
But all the kicking and catching and all that sort of stuff, Walshy's just natural at it. Yeah. You know, and that try that wasn't allowed was fucking ridiculous.
So good.
I looked at that and I was, he's going to fucking score this. I was like, pray to God that he wasn't out because everyone had their doubts. I'm like, he can't go that close. Yeah. Must be something on there. But
shout out to the touchy, reluctantly.
Touchy just like, we will let it slide too.
Well, he wanted to. I think the touchy wanted to let it go and have the benefit of going up to the video referee. But the problem was, I forgot who was coming over and cover. Was it Keanu Kinney who nearly made the last tackle? Yeah. Like if they had made the tackle, then he had to pull the trigger and say it was out if he thought it was out.
Yeah,
you know.
There's
no guarantees that Walshy was going to score from that point as well.
Yeah, a couple of little things went against the Titans. That fucking ball to Brimo was beautiful. You've got to reward that. Yeah. It was not forward, mate.
I know.
That would have changed the fucking game. Wouldn't have been 26-10.
You know what? And I was even thinking deeper about this too, because right now the Titans are not a team that can bounce back from calls like that. They're all effort. And that was deflating for them.
Yes.
And you lost the energy of the crowd. And
would have been what?
The Titans have showed over the last couple of years when that crowd gets behind them that they can, Foz's last game, they go on a run, they get confident, and it would have been. Imagine if they could have gone back to back, like what the fan base would have been like in the coming weeks. But I was also thinking about Ilias. I thought Ilias really needed that play.
Yes.
Because he's been...
Did he throw the ball?
It was Ilias, yeah.
Oh, okay. It was a fucking great ball. I didn't know. I just looked at Brimo's outball, just went, that's beautiful to watch.
You know what, mate? Like, with the way his career's gone, and I talked about this is the best edge that he's had in a long time and the best opportunity he's had. It would have been a nice moment for him and his confidence moving forward.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know who threw the ball. I was just thinking, that sucks that they pulled it back.
And I thought again, he's starting to play well and he's starting to feel himself. So that would have been a big moment for him. I just need to go back to a couple of moments. Ezra, what a fucking game from Ezra. First half compared to the second half. Now this is a couple of weeks in a row where he's been a part of the reason the opposition have got back into the game.
Footy amnesia, the best one, the best case of all time.
But like Madge, now that they've lost some troops, so no Walshy, no Reynolds, and no Hunt, and potentially no Reynolds. Ezra needs to control this team. So it's most likely going to be probably Tom Duffy and potentially either Jesse Arthurs or Hayes Perham at fullback. Those are the options. Ezra has with Corey Pakes at hooker, right? They've lost.
Ezra's the guy.
Ezra's now the guy. So you can't have the first half that he had with some unforced errors and some sloppy plays and account for your brilliance in the second half to get yourself out of it. You've got to be a lot cleaner.
Polished.
Got to be way more polished. Got to be way more controlled. And he's got to take some leadership.
And I'd love to see that from Ezra because I think sometimes he just goes, we've got so many guns here. I'm just one of them and I'll put my shine on it when I want.
Yeah.
When they're fatigued and all that kind of shit. No, not now.
I'm excited to see what it looks like.
You need to control this team because this is a chance that young players want. Like everyone's out because he would have been sitting there going, well, I've got Reynolds, I've got Hunt, I've got Walsh. They're all the main carries. Then me, whatever. Now say no, you're the guy. You're the connect to the back line. You're the kicking game, the leadership, defensively. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that game, man.
Yeah, same. He's got a couple of. I think they play the Cowboys this week.
Yeah, it is. It
is the Cowboys, isn't it?
Be outstanding.
That'll be a fun game to watch as well.
Because he's got so much talent, Ezra. It's like he's in second gear. Like he fucking runs like way quicker than both of us.
When he scoops up a ball or explodes in the holes,
it's just silky the way I look at him and just go, fuck, that's just natural football player, right? Skill set off its head. Just consistency with him.
Shout out to Antonio Verhoeven.
Verhoeven. Yeah.
That was my tip up, remember?
Are you excited about that? You got the mail from up. Did Gordy give you that mail?
He did, yeah.
Gordy gave it to me.
And actually, I could tell he, because the post started getting more viral again.
Yeah.
It comes through the algorithm. There you go. Shout out to
6-man bench. It works again. Now, there's pros and cons to this. So the pros are Antonio probably plays in a game where he wouldn't have played in last year. Like he's on a 6-man bench and he was there for cover and he was needed because that cover was required while she went off. I guess the smallest of cons is that his family wasn't a part of it, and you're going to get that cool jersey presentation that they get these days.
Yep.
But Mace, you'd rather this. And again, the 6-man bench kept this a competitive game, and Broncos were probably the better team and they got the win. Whereas who knows what happens if Madge didn't have the
cattle,
the ability to bring in a couple of players because
the luxury. That's what he has. You don't have the luxury anymore.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see this week. I like what the Titans did. That's enough for me to go. They're going to be, you're not going to roll up there and you're going to get them by 50.
Yeah.
Competitive. That's what Josh Hannay wants. Be competitive and just build something up there.
Where's he from?
He's already got it going already.
Yeah.
Josh Hannay.
Yeah.
Like just those. I know it's the Broncos coming into town. It's a big fucking deal, right? But you still got a shitload of supporters.
Yeah. Couple of big win last week. They got a scrappy win, the much needed win against the Dragons. They put their hands up against the Broncos, and there's definitely the fan base will get behind this team if they continue to work hard like they will.
Yeah.
And like he said, I thought Tino was a lot better in this game. Mo Fodawaker off the bench has been suiting him.
Look.
Here's one that's smoky for you. I wouldn't be surprised if his name isn't around Origin. Jojo Fafita.
He'd be a good Origin player, I reckon.
I think
he runs hard.
He's
been last couple. Remember he hit the seam.
Yep.
And then he got dropped.
Yep.
And then he's sort of come back and he hasn't gone back again.
He's got
so
sneaky
built
good
that
wheels
resilience.
too.
But he's built that resilience.
Yeah.
And he's made himself consistent.
Yep.
And he's one of the first picked in their back line.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. But I like it how he got dropped a couple of years ago. Him and the other Carapana.
Lafiana Camperera.
Yeah, Camperera.
Yep.
They both got hooked.
Yep.
And they've come back. I mean,
Jojo has.
Yeah, so Jojo has.
Yeah. So watch out for feet. I wouldn't be surprised if his name is
Queensland, right? Queensland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Queenslander.
Another good story, just something to get behind.
Yeah. They've got some options.
They have. But we're all going, who are you going to pick at left and right centre? And Bill's like, I've got fucking about 6 people I can roll off now that we wouldn't even be thinking of. And I reckon he's one of them.
He could also play on the wing too.
Yeah.
The Sharks 36 defeat the Warriors 22. Big win for the Sharkies. 10-1 against in the penalty count. And also lost the 6 again.
Battle
of the 6 agains, but they had a number of momentum swings, and every time they got good ball, you felt like they were going to score. The connection between Trindle, Kennedy, and Kale Ito on that left edge is humming right now.
Mate, what I like is fucking Brayley. If he's not either like in the squad for New South Wales or starting 9 for Robson, we lost last year, and Robson is not Danny Badiris.
Fair?
Yeah, and this guy throws fucking lasers and hits like a truck and is more, I think, of quick play the balls, a lot more decisive with the plays of hitting the middles and going out the back and everything like that, because Robson doesn't run.
I agree. He's the 2 players that I'd have in front of him, I would still have in front of him are Robson and Mitch Kenny, but Mitch Kenny could be a product of being a Penrith player and might not get a run because of that. But if you went with Brayley, I wouldn't be totally against it. And I reckon offensively, he probably adds more than
he does add more, just a little bit more. So it's not as much as Appy, as much as Appy, and a little bit more than Robson. And I was looking at that game going, when they get a roll on, like he'll just come out dart a little bit, but he won't take too much time off the middles, right? Because the middles and the impact of the other lines, he sees the 4-man, he sees a lot of shit, so he scans the field a lot. And I'm like, that's a quality line. And I know Robson as well. The ball that he throws to Trindle and Nico Hines, he starts all those plays off. It is fucking 10 out of 10. Name a better player who can throw left to right, right to left in the game. Fucking
Brayley's,
he's up there. I'm telling you.
Robson was really good.
Robson's really good. No, he's class as well. So is Harry Grant, and they're all up the top. Those guys are up the top. And he starts everything. So Nico can be the player that will come on the left side. Nico can be on the other side of the post, right? And behind two leads. He hits Nico running. He's got to come onto this ball. Fuck, it's beautiful to watch. And I think he's the key to that whole go forward.
Yep.
And but everything else, fucking their back rows are just big, strong, fit.
Has Teague Wilton and Billy Burns beaten out Britton Nicker?
Fuck no. Britton Nicker just needs to get healthy.
He only missed one game, mate.
Yeah, he come back. He got busted by. Is he had nasal problems?
He was in the wars in this game.
No, he got hit in the nose straight away because someone just dropped the.
But also, he also got
Pompey or something.
He ended up going off eventually with a shoulder injury. But my point is, at the end of last year, Fitzy stuck with Wilton and Burns. Now to start the season, Teague Wilton wasn't there, so it was Britton Nicker and Billy Burns.
Yeah. Fuck.
It's not like he was out for 10 weeks.
No.
But Britton Nicker had to come back off the bench. My gut feeling is
maybe you're right.
Fitzy is going with Teague Wilton and Billy Burns is fully fit.
It doesn't look wrong, does it?
I mean, it's only 1 week. I don't want to overreact on it, but that's just my gut feeling.
Nicker is going to have to work for it. Because these guys, well, it's the old iron sharpens iron. They're all good back rows.
Yes.
And they know they're on something. You know, you want to be...
Billy Burns is playing really good.
When you know you're in a good side, what do you want to do? You fucking keep... everything.
Yeah.
You're going against everyone. Oh, fuck, Nicker is out. Right, I got to start now, and now I'm going to fucking do everything to keep my starting spot. Especially if he's out for 3 or 4 weeks or whatever it is. You're like, I need to play the best footy I need to just to stay in the 17 anyway, or I might be starting. And it looks like he's like going, okay, Billy Burns, you're fucking not doing anything wrong.
I'll stay with Billy Burns too because Nico thought he was doing some stuff wrong, and I love this. So I think this is a part of Nico's game that I want to see more of. There was about the 25-minute mark just before he scored that try. Nico snuck down the short side or got a bit of a wide pass, beautiful pass from Blake Brayley.
Always.
Went down the short side.
Show me a shit one.
Billy Burns missed his assignment. Nico fucking sprayed him during the tackle, was holding up, turned around, had a look at him. Anyway, they ended up putting in a nice little kick, got a repeat set, and about 5 minutes later, boom, right off the hip, puts Billy Burns over. And that's a part where, again, what have I said about, Callum Ponga?
It's the leadership stuff, right?
And that side of him where you go, all right, you're the best player, you're going to cop all the heat if it doesn't go your way. Make sure people are aligned and make sure people are accountable. And that's what I love to see from Nico in that. It's
good. That's what the good halves do. Just like every single great half that I played with, if you miss an assignment, you are getting fucking roasted. Joey, JT would give you the biggest mouthful ever. It's just like, you just got to sit there and go, fuck, sorry.
I got one a game from Kieran.
Fucking, you deserve it, right? Because they see shit that you don't, and it's just like,
you got to be there.
You have got nothing to say. If you're a back rower and you miss the jump on a lead or something like that, and defensively you miss your cues, mate, they're all over you. And I like seeing that from him. Yeah. It's leadership. It's like, no, and owning the team. It's like, it's your fucking team, Nico.
100%.
Your team, mate. Go as far as you go.
Well, you get criticised as much as anyone in the team too.
Highly.
So you fucking get after the people in the team.
Yeah.
By the way, I keep going back to it. Billy Burns is in career best form, and he got rewarded with an extension as well. So congratulations to Billy Burns. Also, Talakai. I think he's one of the most valuable, versatile players in the NRL.
He's best bench player in the game.
Mate, to be able to come on, he should have passed that ball to the Tongan fisherman. He'll be furious. That's the only Qatar. But to have the guy on the bench who comes on and either plays front row, lock, back row, but also like centre at a really high level,
it's fucking awesome.
It's really good.
He's one of your like if you're picking a 17, if you want to get the best players, the best bench players, right? He's on the bench.
3-year deal at Perth too, so hopefully he would have got paid.
Yeah, good. He deserves it.
He would have got paid.
He deserves it. He can. He's powerful. Fucking hits hard. No one gets. He just
can't hit him.
You can't hit him. Ask fucking ask our man Roger.
Yeah.
Fucking at the end of the game, he was in front of him. He was like, that was a business decision there. But you can't hit him. And when he hits you, like he got some of these Warriors big boys, bang, like around the quad hit, you're folded. You lose. You just get hit. You get hit and you just fall over.
Yeah.
Because he just wraps around and like you can feel it when he hits. I love watching him play.
Well, Webby's made some changes to the Warriors as well to account for that right edge that was having some trouble. They moved Ali Lautea because he came up with a couple of bad misses in the first 3 weeks, even though they're winning. But they've moved Chance out to the right centres, but that defence on the right edge, it's still problematic. I don't know. It feels like because Dallin gets a lot of the blame for it because he's often in 2-on-1s and sometimes 3-on-1s, and he come up with a big intercept. And there are times where I watch, I was like, he could have made a better decision there. What's going on with that right edge? Because it doesn't really matter who gets put there, and it happens in different ways. My take on it is this. There's so much film on that right edge, and it doesn't matter who plays there in the last couple of years, that teams are viewing it as a weakness. Therefore, it's getting more traffic. Therefore, you get more opportunities to be stripped and pulled apart. So I just think it's more so the mindset around it. It doesn't matter who you get put in there right now. Teams on that left edge when they're playing the Warriors think they're going to have joy, and then therefore are having joy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Do you know what a lot of teams do, right, defensively? And it seems like they're getting caught out, and DW's getting caught out a lot, is when it is man on man, the winger has to come up in that space where DW gets caught all the time, which is nearly no man's land. But you've got to make a play at the ball or try and interrupt it somehow. But you're meant to come up in that space, and the 3-man is supposed to come over and cover.
Yes.
Right? So that is so if you're worried about anything at home, fans, this is what they're getting taught what to do at training, right? So when it's like that, when it's man on man, and just say the center gets through and beats your center, you're going to come up, right? Yeah. So they get trained like that. So where you see Dallin get caught right there, that's where the 3-man's supposed to come over and clean up.
So do you think Dallin should be making stronger decisions?
He's got to make
So then therefore everyone else can make it sweet.
You watch Bizza. Watch Bizza do it all. You watch Biz. He's the best. He's the best in the business. Yeah. Like the really good wingers, they don't fuck it up.
And also,
it's because of the center. Yeah. Chance is not a fucking center. He's either fullback or he's not in the team.
Yeah.
That's the way I looked at it, because he fucked that whole edge up, and they were coming down there, and they got massive momentum switches there. But Dallin's doing the right thing. But he's got to trust the center. When you got a good defensive center, these mistakes don't happen.
Chance made some really good tackles one-on-one on Ko as well, but like it would be an adjustment. I think there's got to be, you bring back your Biz is a great example.
That's where he gets caught.
Bizza often gets caught in 2-on-1s, and he sits there and he's patient and he's able to double D, but he's an outlier.
That's where you're supposed to be. So people at home, go watch Bizza defend.
Yeah.
And he doesn't make that mistake. He's a right side winger as well.
Yeah.
And why aren't they scoring fucking 40 tries down his edge? They never do.
Yeah.
Sometimes when he was making some mistakes, he adjusted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's all from where? The fucking middles.
Yeah. Yeah.
That are fatigued.
Yeah.
And you're not making good decisions and you can't get out. Like it's all connected.
What about the connection between Metcalf and Boyd? Now, that's going to be an issue moving forward again because Metcalf left the game with a hamstring injury.
That sucks.
There was pros and cons to us, and we said this around the emergence of Tanner Boyd and how well even Luke Hanson played in his one game, and Chanel Harris-Tavita. Iron sharpens iron. I believe that works all over the park,
except for
in the halves, and it becomes a problem when all of the players were in good form or have played well at times for the Warriors, because then you start to like when you do get the nod and you're Metcalf and Boyd. Do you not worry about playing the perfect 10 out of 10 game thinking, fuck, Chanel's there on the 6-man bench. Jet Cleary is in New South Wales Cup playing well. Luke Hanson played well on his debut. You start to fucking...
I hope they don't, but it looked like they did.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like there's Metcalf. If I was Metcalf, you just come in and try and get your reps in and get to your kick, defensively be good. Don't try and take over the team because Boyd's doing a really good job of that, and then just gradually get yourself into the year. And he was going to do that. Fucking hamstring gone. That just sucks that it happens for him. You know, now it's back to Boyd's team. But when he does come back, hopefully, and he'll probably just take it a lot easier. But it would suck with the halves because they're both ball dominant halves, and Boyd's been going outstanding because he's got the ball about fucking 70 times a game.
Going down to Melbourne against the Storm as well. I will just say as well. I've never noticed a stat like this, and just because I was calling the game, we were looking at stats as we go, and we've got to bring up different stats. Do you know the Warriors had 16 more runs in total than the Sharks, but the Sharks ran for 200 metres more? So, like, that is a significant gap.
It shows you where you're getting the ball as well.
Yeah, like the positions in the
and it takes its toll.
And sometimes long range tries, because the Sharks did have a couple of 30, 40 metre breaks, which account for that.
Yep.
But 200 meters when the other team has 6. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Maybe that's, I don't know if that's common or not because it's not something that I constantly look at.
Have a look where the Sharks pinned the Warriors most of the time.
Yeah.
It's coming off their line. There was a couple of times where they made like 15, 20 meters, 20 meters just plus, and then it was fifth tackle. I reckon that happened like 10 times.
So
another one is like the Warriors just aren't winning those little things. And everybody who's not winning those little things are getting fucking pumped.
Yep.
And the Sharks are winning.
Yep. What a change of form line 2 weeks can do. Remember we were thinking about the Warriors 2 weeks ago. 3-0.
Our conversations on both.
Conversation and then Sharks, and then bang. So that's how quickly you can turn around. If you're a fan base event.
That's what I'm saying. Stick solid with your team because they're going to turn it around.
Raiders, Bulldogs, Dragons, Manly. If you string 3 games together in this competition.
You win in the comp. On levels, you win in the comp.
I saw exactly.
Sharks are winning the comp.
I saw a funny post that they're saying that the Warriors are trying to just weed out the bandwagoners by losing a couple of games.
That's good.
They're good. I'll do it.
Last game.
Oh, my nice.
Mace's Knights 32 defeat
My
Ricky's
Knights.
Raiders 12. Mace, this was the last time the Knights won a home game was 26-22 come from behind win against Manly round 14 of last year. So this has been a long time coming.
Knights
the crowd were out there in force. That's the beauty of Newcastle. That was the end of Adam O'Brien too. Oh, thought I had radio today.
You don't? It's good.
And the reason that it was the end of the Adam O'Brien era, remember this was the game where Adam O'Brien sort of gave the fans a bit of a spray for the way that they treated the team at halftime. And he went about it the wrong way, right? Like I remember we were speaking about this where he sort of just was so emotional after the game and trying to back his players and clearly got it wrong. But the Hunter region, from that point on, had not had joy at home. No. That is crazy.
Crazy not winning there for that long.
And now they're 4-1 to start the season.
Good. I'm happy for the fan base in Newcastle as well. They've got a team to support. Look at it. The fans don't get it wrong up there. Yep. They'll support you when you're fucked as well.
Yeah.
But they turned on O'Brien at that time because you don't go against the fans.
And this is to my point before when I bring up these stats, and this is not a crack at Adam O'Brien, but I'm just trying to outlay how sometimes the messaging can run its course. The Knights are now 4-1. They've had the 5th amount of points scored. I'll turn that on mute. The 5th amount of points scored in the season. The Cowboys with Blake Green, who was the assistant. Remember Blake Green got hammered last year about his
is he up there, Blakey?
His assignment.
Yeah.
About him potentially getting the job, and everyone was like, well, he's the attack coach. Well, Blake Green's gone up to the Cowboys, right? And they look pretty good in attack. 32-0 looked pretty good, doing a good job in line with Todd Payton. It's not all Blake Green, right? But it's also not the reason. Like it's also a nice tick for his credentials as well. The Bulldogs, on the flip side now, second worst attack in the competition. So sometimes, and this again, I want to go back to this, and I'm not having a proper dig at Adam O'Brien, but sometimes the messaging can get a little bit stale and it can get rough for a coach. And I still, like I've said this before, I think Adam O'Brien's a good coach. You can tell he's had a really good apprenticeship, and this is just the way rugby league goes sometimes. Weird, And the narrative can change. You know what I mean? Like the Bulldogs could get it together around Origin time, and then Adam O'Brien looks like
attacking genius.
Exactly right. But it's just funny how things sort of unfold and work out, and how important momentum can be, and how sometimes the message can just go through deaf ears at some time.
And that's what we're saying. We weren't harsh on Flano. I love Flano as a human and as a coach, but it's just those players, it's not happening down there. And that's, I just try to connect my little stint with Cowboys to go, I was at the back end and it was just like, it was a fucking madhouse. There was nothing getting through to players and players to the coaches. It was a bit of and that's the only time I can go, I understand from the coach and the player.
Yep.
And I could, because I've been in these dressing rooms. So
what about the Knights as a collective? Tyson Frizzell was playing as well as he's played in the last couple of years. He's changed his role. Matt Croker's starting the game for him. He's coming on, having an impact. I've mentioned Jacob Saifidi. Look, check out the numbers for Saifidi and Frizzell. Saifidi 19 for 178, Frizzell 18 for 166.
Damn.
Greg Marzoo and Dom Young are back to 2023
The
form.
Zoo.
Remember when they were the best?
Zoo Young.
They were the wing. They were the best wing combination in
20 plus tries.
2023.
That was
Each.
Adam O'Brien, the attacking coach.
There you go.
There you
right?
go. There you go.
There you go, Adam O'Brien.
Balake Green
So
too.
like that, you know, at one point that works and there's momentum, and the messaging back then was, you know, happy and everything was
11 in a row.
And then all of a sudden you might just go through periods where it's a little bit tougher to score. Dom Young ends up leaving to the Roosters. We thought Dom Young sucked
Career's
for about
done.
a year and a half. He's back now. He's playing good footy. It's just, I love seeing
Fucking roller coaster.
I love seeing
Just
it.
got to get on and enjoy it.
Yep.
As your fan, as a player, everything, mate. It's always say it's like a roller coaster. Don't go too high, don't go too low. Stay in the middle.
But yeah, they're playing well. Phoenix Crosslands. I'm so happy for Phoenix Crossland too.
Dan Gagai, sorry.
Gags is playing
The
awesome.
fucking 35.
Yeah.
That's fucking me and Manly in 2015. He's 35. I couldn't wait. Last week, gave him a massive big hug. I love Gags.
To be fair, Gags last year in badly beaten teams
Yeah, he did.
was playing at this level. Now everyone else is playing around to that
Yeah.
level. Like it's, I think, you know, you could even argue that players' stat lines are going past Gags, where like Gags has been doing this for the last couple of years. That's
10
why the
10 to 15
fans made sure that the Knights rewarded him
Yeah.
with a new contract. I'm so happy for
He
him.
gave fucking old, was it Sanders, a 7?
Yeah.
Bit of a bath.
Yeah.
Little bit of a, you fucking played 5 games, kid. Talk to me when you played 316 of the best.
Yeah, they've got that Sebastian Chris Sanders, Hudson Young, that edge. We'll get to the Canberra Raiders in a little bit, but he was just getting old school early ball, like I keep saying, right?
Skidding you, yeah.
Like
one-on-ones.
creating quick play the balls and getting it out.
And
to
you're
strike
getting your
weapons.
one-on-ones now, like it was fucking 20 years ago, like Gasney versus Tonga and Hodges and Tate and all these guys, because the middle is fucking too fucked to put inside pressure on. You're getting these one-on-ones.
Another moment about connection and standing up for your teammates. I think I alluded to this last week. Was there something Latrell did? There was an opportunity where I thought maybe the Dogs didn't stick up for one of their teammates. Anyway, I forget what team
That
it
was
was.
Parramatta. It was
Yes.
Yongi.
Yeah, it was the Yongi situation. It was Parramatta where I thought there was an opportunity to, I don't care if it's Liam Martin, get in there and stick up for your teammate.
Yeah.
And he sort of got ragdolled over the sideline. I forgot who the player was. Someone got sort of rissoled by Hudson Young and Jermaine McEwen.
Dom Young got his fucking,
pulled his hair.
hip drop.
Yes.
Like judo fucking chop.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Jermaine McEwen, who I've got a big rap on too. I
Yeah.
love it. I love
Went
that
at
he
him.
fucking went at Hudson Young, who's another alpha for another team as well. Have you got something for
Well,
us?
remember I said I wanted to give a shout out
Yeah.
to the NRL Soapbox. He's
Yep.
sort of a relatively new creator.
Yep.
Whoops, that's the NRL Knights, not the Soapbox. Exactly that take he had. Remember I said I wanted to show you it before?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So let me find it. This is the problem with Canberra right now.
The Raiders were lucky, and I'll show you why. Because this right here is absolute madness. And the easiest example is Hudson Young pulling hair when they're already a man down. He's lucky he didn't go to the bin too. And that is the problem with Canberra right now. They're an unbelievably talented side, but they have too many hot-headed moments and dumb ill-discipline.
Fair.
And if Raiders fans are still blaming the refs for losses, then they are emblematic of the club's immaturity. The real question is, why are Canberra making it so easy for teams to beat them? It's almost as if they miss a cool head.
So he's a bit of a
I've
comedian.
I've seen his takes before.
not
Yeah, that's
bad.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
he's
too bad.
he
Yeah.
reached out. I followed him. He sent me a nice message. Listen
No,
to
he's cool.
levels.
He's got some decent
So-
takes.
Yeah, decent.
Show him some love.
That's always
We've
been.
said that the
It's
last.
the fine line with all of those boys.
Mate,
As
they're all
much as we love the bra, we
I
love
fucking
Huddy.
love them all.
Even Joey Taps loses his shit every now and again, and he's the skipper.
When you're under the pump like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and that's what people don't understand. When you're in that little washing machine,
Yep.
you're getting pumped on every single level. You're dominated by the Knights, who you think you should be flogging. You know, it's frustration, mate.
They're
It's
too
frustration, and
talented.
they're too talented to be where they are now. And you're looking at it going, we should be fucking near in the top 4. What the hell's happening? And you start getting moments like that. And you've got hot heads in that pack, mate.
Yeah.
Big Papa, he's pretty cool at this level. He's at the back end of his career, obviously. Tarpanay's about it. Huddy Young and the bra.
Well, Taps
And
said
Liam,
this.
I think the fucking back row is about it as well. I think everyone is about it. Starling's into it. If this was like 20 years ago, they'd be doing punch-ons all the fucking time.
Well,
Telling you,
yeah,
it's
they would.
easy to
They
fucking
would.
come in and jump in
Yeah.
on Huddy Young
Of
when
course.
you're not going to get a punch in the fucking head.
Yeah.
No, I disagree. I reckon Jermaine McEwen, as much as I love Huddy
They'll be
Young,
throwing hands.
he was keen for it.
Yeah.
And he was keen for it, and he backed his teammate, and I love that from Jermaine McEwen. And I will say this, Joseph Tarpany said in the presser after the game with Ricky, he goes, he was asked about the performance and basically alluded to, I'm going to have a stern word to our leadership group about where our standards are at this moment. So he's clearly frustrated as well. They know it's not good enough. Again, it feels like, and this is, I don't want to get away from us. Sometimes we're looking at these teams. Don't get me wrong. I think Raiders are a more talented team than Newcastle Knights right
Easy.
now. But Newcastle have rattled teams who I thought are better than them
last week
with a better roster over the last couple of weeks. So credit to Newcastle because they're playing for each other. They've got connection.
Yes.
And they're rattling the opposition. And that is how, maybe by the end of the season, we're not looking at Jermaine McEwen as just a good ascending player.
He's a good player.
He may be that dude by the end of the year.
It's good.
Right?
And I'm not taking anything away from Newcastle Knights.
Yeah.
They are playing a fucking top brand of football.
Yeah.
And the brand of football they're playing is winning in this fucking climate now. They're pretty disciplined. They run hard. They complete their sets. They get to the end of sets. They're fucking aggressive in defense and they've got enough strike players to end it. Right? But on the other hand, the Raiders are the same and they're just not doing it.
Yes. Yep.
And it'd be frustrating for Ricky. It'd be frustrating for the players, and I can see it because that's when you start getting like you just want to fucking fight someone. You don't understand these players are not cut from the normal cloth that most people are. They fucking want to fight
Bulldogs and Raiders players over the last couple of weeks will be going,
fuck this.
Shit, we're losing to the team that got the spoon last year. They haven't had a dramatic change to their roster. I mean, they did have one big one, but he's not even playing at the moment. They're fucking $15 million player in Dylan Brown. Now, they've had some good underrated signings that are starting to look like really sharp signings in Sandon Smith, Trey Mooney, Harrison Graham off the bench.
Harrison Graham. Fucking gun.
Yeah, mate, they're just they're a fun team to watch. And when the Fletcher squared,
Titsy's killing him. They love him.
What they end up, I think Fletcher Hunt's going to be the player that misses out and just goes completely out of the team. But geez,
it's good. It's good to have a problem like that.
Yeah.
Like as if with this 19-man thing, he might miss some football because if you get named at 18-19, you got to suit up every time, or do you get to play reserve grade?
I know where Fletcher Hunt goes. Now, Bradman Best again, he's missed this game. He did his groin in this game. I think when they're fully fit, I think
is he done?
Young Wilson DeCourcy come off the bench in the second half. Yeah, he did his groin, didn't return in the second half.
Shit.
So I reckon Fletcher Hunt will probably go to left centre when Kalen and Dylan Brown return. Because he's versatile, he can play anywhere.
Anyway.
Fletcher Sharp, fuck, he's a gun, Fletcher Sharp. And you can tell he's not even healthy.
No, he's on one leg.
He's on one leg.
He's still fucking putting people on skates.
What about the instincts to catch that ball like he did whenever I'm like...
Just straight into his hands.
Far out.
Anyway, Raiders, Ricky will be sticking solid behind his playing group. He knows what he's got there.
He's also got Matty Timoko not playing. He's also got Owen Paddy not playing. Fuck, who have they got this week? Let's look at who they got this week because they need to those players. There are some senior boys.
There are some rabbits.
Perth.
Raiders. Oh, in Perth.
In Perth?
Yeah, it is in Perth. Yuck. I mean, go the Bears.
This is a huge game for some senior players for Raiders.
Yeah, I agree. It's at that stage. It's round 6. Yeah. It's like, fuck, boys, at least before Magic Round, you want to be on a bit of a roll.
Have you been reading Jack Cronin, Caesar's Palace Substack and his analysis of games?
Yeah. No.
It's like,
who the fuck is that?
You'd love it. It's another content creator from Canberra.
Palace.
Yeah.
Right, like 20-minute webcam videos talking about the Raiders. Yeah, he doesn't post it anywhere else.
Caesar.
It makes it hard to find, but I'm giving it a bit of a... that was his favourite player, so he calls himself Caesar's Players.
Caesar's solid.
Salad.
He's funny.
I love
he's
the salad.
a good dude.
But this is serious.
We've mentioned him and shown you stuff before. You just, you wouldn't remember.
Magic Round before.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Anyway, we've got the Eels versus
Tigers. Go the Tigers.
Will this game be? We will post this after the game.
It'll
right?
come.
So
So
we'll
everyone
know
will
the
watch
result.
the footy, and then we'll see the take, and then we'll recap that on Thursday.
Beautiful. See you Thursday.